The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Solihull. It's IPA Freesports Champions Cup night once again on Freesports. It's week 13, and it really is starting to heat up. We've seen some fantastic action over the last few months, and we've only got 4 more weeks of the first round ahead of us here on Freesports. This is the scene live from Riley's in Solihull. 4 more players join us in the Champions Cup. 2 semi-finals and a final. And that will determine who advances through to the next round of the competition. Last week we saw the world champion exit the competition at this stage, right here on this table. Ben Davis beaten by Toby Bolt in a dramatic deciding frame final. This is what we've got coming up tonight. Jimmy Carney versus Aiden Finch. Miles DeLuce and Mark Pickworth. The winner of each will face each other in a final and advance through to the next round. Stephen Jameson here with you alongside Kevin Barton. And Kev, this is going to be another good week. We saw Cracker last week here in Solihull. Looks like we're in for another showstopper.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, every week something is being thrown at us that we don't expect, and yeah, it's. I know these players have been practicing hard for tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out and develops.
It's Aiden Finch on the right, Jimmy Carney in the purple on the left. Flag off to decide who's going to have the first break. Here's Aiden Finch in the white polo. He's made the trip up from the south. This was originally supposed to be in Twickenham before the unfortunate flooding in the venue there. So a few of our players have had to make a bit of a trip up north. Aiden's a very handy player. What do we know about him?
Well, he's a real accomplished player from the London area, as you say. He was looking forward to going to Twickenham, but unfortunately he didn't have a pair of wellies that he could play in, so we had to bring him up to Solihull. And you know, he's one of these players that on his day he's a match for anyone, and you know, he's just got to put it all together now, and for 2 matches tonight to get through to the next round. But you know, pretty intense player, really gets into the match, really focused, and you see there his facial expressions. So you know, he's really up for tonight. I was just having a quick chat with him earlier, and yeah, he's really pumped for tonight.
Well, I've been watching him warm up on the table over the last hour or so, and the first thing I noticed, he's got a really punchy break. Really gets into the balls, and breaking I don't think will be an issue for him in this match. He's got a decent setup here. He's elected reds, which seems to me like a pretty sensible choice. The only one he's got to be careful of, I think, is the one on the bottom cushion, but there's plenty around it to try and make something happen.
Yeah, straight away he's going to. So he played the plant. So he played the red onto the yellow. So well, I didn't expect him to miss that one, to be honest. He'd done the hard work. He'd got on the yellows, and then missed a pretty routine pot. But you know, we say it every week. You know, these guys are not used to playing on live TV, and you know, until you get that first frame on the board, it's almost you've got a mountain to climb. So you know, some early nerves there from Aiden.
First look then at Jimmy Carney, who himself chooses reds.
Yeah, and Jimmy's been he's had a bit of a renaissance over the past sort of 6-8 months. Really found some great form, and we'll see that later when we look at the stats. And his performances have markedly improved. So you know, he's going to be really confident going into tonight's matches.
It's one of his difficult balls along the rail. He's dispatched that pretty well, and he's played a lovely positional shot as well onto his difficult ball.
Yeah, he's taken some good scalps recently as Jimmy, and yeah, I think people are beginning to notice that you know, he's a very good player, and again, he's been putting the hours in for tonight. You know that. So it's going to be a real tussle between these two guys, who you know, off the table are you know, pretty good mates. So as we know, it's not always easy to play your friends in these competitions, particularly when there's so much at stake. So again, the guys are going to have to deal with that best they can.
He's just having a little look to see if this one will go straight in. Looks pretty tight to me.
Yeah, I think he's just going to try and lance off that red. It's nearest the pocket. Well, it went straight in.
Cued it beautifully.
So it's all about this positional shot. He's got to screw back. He wants to be as straight as possible onto this red into the right middle. He's just got to come back about a foot. It's just a little bit short, but no problem with the pot. Just got to make sure of the position. He's got a big area that he can play into, so just depends how he wants to play it. He could play it plain ball and run the white up the top cushion, or if he wants to play it a bit left hand side, maybe come off 2 rails. See how.
His issue isn't getting on the black, he just wants it to be as easy as possible for his first one of the match.
Absolutely. It's pretty good shape. He wouldn't expect to miss this, as we know the pressure.
Straight in the heart of the pocket, no doubt. Nicely done. And Jimmy Carney takes the first frame of the match. Aiden Finch, though, had the first opportunity. But a good start from Jimmy Carney. And this is what you're alluding to. He's had a pretty good run. Got to the final of the Welsh Professional, where he ran into a... well, Brenda McCarthy's been on fire in recent months. No shame in losing that one at all, never mind the scoreline. But the World Championship run as well, losing to a very good Neil Rayburn in the quarterfinals. He does seem to be coming into that little bit of form.
Yeah, you can see the 2017 results, round 1, round 3, but when we get into 2018, quarters of the Worlds, as you said, he lost in a deciding frame thriller to Neil Rayburn. Final of the Welsh Professional, and you know, last 16 and quarters up in Aberdeen. So yeah, you can certainly see that his results are certainly on the up over the past 3 or 4 months. So certainly will be the favourite going into this match tonight.
Yeah, that deciding frame winner over Neil Rayburn, one of the multiple deciding frame winners we had at that World Championship. Wasn't the first, wasn't the last either.
Yeah, it's pretty standard for the Worlds. Every match that would show just about went the distance.
I'll be disappointed with that. Jimmy Carney, dry break for his first attempt. Just had a good look at the table to see what he'd left Aiden. Let's take a look ourselves. Not too many balls, it has to be said, threatening pockets.
Yeah, more of a control break there than letting his arm go at it. So a little bit cautious. Not left anything easy though, that's the only plus point for him.
Didn't quite get it. I just heard the shot clock tick there. And Finch looks a touch confused about that.
I think that could have been a bit of a
misfire.
Technical error.
Yeah, each player gets 45 seconds to play their shots. As per the shot clock, they get an extension that can be used once a frame. And Jimmy Carney then back at the table, and he's got a few options here. His first decision, obviously, is that he's got to decide which colour that he fancies it.
Well, I mean, he's going to, I think, be looking at reds without a doubt. He just needs to work out, looking at these two, make sure he's getting the right position on these two. But, wow.
Oh, goodness me. Well, that's a really sloppy shot from Jimmy. In so many ways. Just wonder what's happened there, because he looks in a total state of shock. And first of all, it's a very bad miss. That much is obvious. But he's trying to hit that as thin as possible. I think he's actually hit it too thin. I didn't think I wonder if it was almost impossible to hit it that thin. That's the way Aiden's looked to take it out, and perhaps that was the way to go.
Yep, strange one there from Jimmy, but he needs to put that to the back of his mind now. And Aiden's got those reds that we highlighted were the favoured suit for this frame. So it looks like he's going to take this round behind the black. But he's completely mishit that one. So we've seen a lot of early nerves there from the players. Not only are they playing live on Freesports, but they're playing a good friend. So that adds a little bit extra to it as well. So yeah, Aiden just not quite settled down yet. The only positive for him there after missing that easy shot is that certainly yellows are not easy for Jimmy. Certainly to take the finish out in this frame.
Shot clock sticking. Just got a little bit rushed, I think. Did Jimmy Carney? It's a real scrappy start to this frame, isn't it?
Yeah, the beeps were counting down there just as he got down on the shot, so he was obviously conscious that as he had to line the shot up, he had to play within 8 to 9 seconds. And he's probably missed a double by a little bit more than he would have expected.
Didn't want that cannon. Immediately looks to see if they'll plant. It's a mile off that angle. Wanted to go past that red. And those two don't plant. At least not straight into the pocket.
Yeah, he could make the angle. He's going to be uncertain where that top red's going to end up. Chances are it could be tied up at the top end of the table as we look.
Extension has been called by Aiden Finch.
Certainly not easy, and he's not got the ideal angle to play this.
Yeah, it was tough, wasn't it? With the balls being so close to each other, they really had to force that, and it made it a really difficult shot. Got the line actually spot on. I think that was going to make its way in, but to get the pace on the second ball was so tough.
Yeah, it was very thin, and he just didn't have quite the best angle to play that shot. But, another chance now for Jimmy, and he looked really assured in that first frame. Took a nice finish out after the Aiden Finch error. But, just needs to re-establish himself in this frame.
Aiden Finch thought that wasn't going to drop.
Intense concentration there on Jimmy's face.
Well, the table is just starting to open up for him. Still not easy. He's going to have to be very cute in how he gets around these yellows.
Yeah, played a nice positional shot there. Lots of left-hand side on that white ball just to bring it past that red to take this yellow into bottom left corner as we're looking.
Well, his big issue is the yellow just above the middle pocket at the top of our picture. It doesn't go into the bottom corner because of the red that's blocking it. I think that's probably just too thin for the middle pocket. So may have to move it. May have the chance actually on this next pot.
He's probably got a couple of options here with this yellow. He could try to move it after potting this one, if he can leave himself the right angle, or he could play that potentially from this shot. So he could put lots of left-hand side as he pots this yellow into the top left-hand corner and spin that white off the cushion. Got the perfect angle to see if he can pull this shot off. Just needs a bit more pace, I think.
I think, judging by his reaction, it's always the easiest way to tell. He wanted a bit more on that. He's caught it almost perfectly. Just need that. Yeah, that is probably going to be too tight. He's having a really good look at it.
Well, he's in the perfect position to play. He's right behind it. I mean, it is off the cushion 3 or 4 millimeters. Could just drop this in dead weight.
Just.
If the white had been in any other position, that would have been a horrible shot to play, but the white was absolutely perfect, right behind it. Just exactly where you want to be to play those real delicate drop-in shots.
The frame has indeed opened itself up for Jimmy Carney. It has to go down as an excellent positional shot to get the yellow into a potting position.
Yeah, and he played that well, that shot into the corner. Hit it with the right pace to ensure that the white came past the black, put it into the same pocket, and that's 2-0 Jimmy.
Yeah, good start from Jimmy Carney. He'll be pleased with that. This is Aiden Finch's most recent history. And a good run at the UK Professional. Guess who he lost to? Jimmy Carney, 8-6 in the last 16 last summer. And he seems to be a familiar foe as well, because he also lost to him in October in the British Professional. He must be sick of the sight of
I
it.
was just going to say, he must be fed up. But he may be thinking third time lucky, of course. So, yeah, Aiden's, we've not seen him in the tour this year. He couldn't make the first couple of events. He will be making his first appearance of the season on the tour this weekend. So he's eager to get back into the competitions. So yeah, a bit of a mixed year last year. Some good individual performances, but just couldn't quite string it together on a consistent basis. But there's a lot of some very good players there. Neil Raybone, Jimmy, Ian Alley, Michael Rhodes. All very good players. So some close matches, 8-6s, 7-6s. So a couple of frames either way, it could have been a different season for him.
Third frame, Aiden Finch to break, trailing 2 racks to 0. Time running.
Aiden Finch then with the break. He has got a very good one. Broke very well actually in the first frame. His first shot after the break was a little careless. But he's had another good break there. Really nicely done. Does really punch in that break. It's almost quite a unique style in that just a level of ferocity seems to punch it in with.
He's absolutely launched everything at that break. The kitchen sink went in, everything went at that one. And he's got a nice split. I think he'll be looking at the reds. So big frame this for Aiden. Certainly doesn't want to be going 3-0 down in a race to 6. But 2-1, still wide open.
Of course, it's always a big frame, the third, when it goes 2-0 after the first couple. And you know what I mean, though, don't you, when we talk about Aiden's break? Because it seems so rigid. he really just drives force completely straight through the cue. It's almost like a robotic action, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was, like I say, he absolutely threw everything at that one.
Now, can he sneak through to that red? I think he's okay. He can. He's a bit Chinese snookered, but he may opt to go to the top of the table because of that. A couple of options.
Yeah, just needs to make sure that when he pots this one below the black, that he runs the white forward, so that he can pot the one into the centre with the right angle. He's just about got there. He can play this into the left middle with lots of right hand side, so that that white will spin off the side rail. Go somewhere here, and then the side to bring it up to this end of the table. That's where he's going to be looking to play.
Has he got enough of it?
Just didn't get enough side on that one. Needed to give it a little bit more.
He's having a good look at it. I'm not sure. It's a tight one, isn't it? Similar to almost to Jimmy's in the last frame. Can he clip that red in?
I think he can just see a wafer's edge, but can he control the white ball to hold for his final red?
Oh, he's played it nicely. Recovered that well. Wasn't a favourable positional shot. Wasn't a bad one necessarily, but just left himself a little bit more work to do. A bit more difficult than it perhaps needed to be. Red's good. Black should be a formality from here, and this will help settle the nerves for Aiden Finch. Nicely done. Simple enough. And he gets a crucial frame in this one. As I mentioned right at the start of it, 2-1 looks so much better than 3-0.
Yeah, and exactly what the doctor ordered, a nice break and dish to open your account and get right back into this match. Not much in it, a few missed pots as we saw in that second frame. So I think now both players will be a bit more settled, so I think we won't see much action on those stats. And hopefully more on the break dish and reverse dish columns.
Absolutely. A few insights you can glean from those stats. The missed pots will be a real disappointment for both players. 4 in particular for Aiden Finch after just 3 frames he'll be very annoyed with. But in terms of total balls potted, you can just see that Aiden Finch has had his chances because he's potting balls in frames that he's lost.
Yeah, certainly had a good chance in the first frame, but as we know, those first frame nerves kick in, and missed a pretty routine pot, but the world will feel a better place now after that last break and dish.
Jimmy to break then.
Changed his break. Broke from the side.
Ooh, makes a ball.
Yeah, broke from the side in the first frame. Didn't really trouble any pockets, and straight away changed his break, smashed it straight down the middle, and has reaped the rewards.
Yeah, he's actually made a couple of reds there.
A lot more movement on the balls as a result of changing his break up there. Just to watch out for the enough. He pots this one. Yeah, he was conscious of the in-off there. If it had potted that wide would have been really close to the middle bag. Just made him hit it a little bit thicker.
Yeah, that shot looked worse than it was. He was trying to pot that in the smallest possible portion of the pocket. Trying to pinch the pocket, as we call it.
He was trying to play it with a bit more pace, just to try and widen the angle with the white ball, and I think that's just why he was always conscious that the white was going near that middle bag, but you naturally just hit it a little bit thicker just to try and avoid that enough.
So Aiden Moves on to reds.
Yeah, I think the key to this frame is all about this positional shot. He's got to work that white through some traffic. If he'd have picked the whites up and placed it anywhere on the table, I think it would have been exactly there. It was a great shot.
Set himself up really nicely for this frame now. Should be 2-2 here.
It should be.
We've already seen in this match though, because these players being a bit jittery. The pots are fairly straightforward though.
So he's got to take the long black into the corner. Wouldn't expect him to not get it, but you never know. Jimmy looks on.
Safely dispatched. He was already racing back to his seat as soon as he cued that. He knew. And it's all square. Nicely done from Aiden Finch. He's been clinical in the last couple of frames.
Yeah, back to back. Reverse dish and break and dish.
And, this is what we mentioned a little earlier when we saw at Aiden's previous tournament history. He's had a couple of matches against Jimmy last year on the tour when he's met him in professional tournaments and it's gone Jimmy's way. I know these two know each other very well. Will that be sitting in the back of either player's mind?
I'm pretty certain it will. Probably more so for Aiden. You know, he'll be smarting from those two defeats. They'll be certainly in his psyche for this match, and you know, as we said earlier, he'll be hoping for third time lucky. And yeah, obviously the guys are from the same area, and known each other for years, and you know, that adds a little bit of extra spice to any matches between the two of them.
White straight in. Didn't cue that anywhere near as nicely. We actually mentioned this on his last break, the way that he cued it almost robotically straight. You saw there his cue swiped to one side, and you see it here on the top. It'll just veer a little bit. That's all it takes. White straight into the middle pocket, which is a good indicator that it's not actually bad luck, it's just a bad break.
Absolutely, yeah. And the way he's absolutely launching himself at these breaks, it's no wonder, to be honest, that he's losing a little bit of control. You know, he's really giving them 110%, and why not? You know, it's not every day you play on TV, so I think he's making sure he leaves nothing out there on the breaks.
Now Jimmy, I think there was trying to leave himself a little bit further away from this red. I think he's going to have to reroute back up to the top of the table. He's gone yellows. I just wonder if he's had to restructure there, or if he just originally played his yellow onto the cushion a bit by mistake. Anyway, it's a touch loose, but still plenty of time to recover.
Yeah, as soon as Aiden saw that white going off, he's praying that all the balls go in a really big cluster and nothing's out in the open at all. And unfortunately, that very rarely happens, but that's what he was hoping for.
Simple plant, and the balls all remain pretty open from here.
Yeah, I think he'll probably play the one into this corner, just screw back for this next one into here. That'll be his next ball. Just got slightly the wrong angle on this pot. He would have liked to have been a little bit higher, sort of probably in this area. Just means he's going to probably kiss into this red, which may tie the black up. It's
okay.
It was always going to be okay, but you don't really want to be kissing balls near the black if you can help it. On another day, it could have just stuck onto that black and made it a little bit awkward, but played it with the right pace.
Yeah, of course. Especially so late in a frame. Very, very open for Aiden to come in now.
So he's just going to screw the white back anywhere in this area there for the black into the middle.
He's gone off the bottom cushion, it looks like. Oh, did he take it up to the top or into the middle still?
He's, well, he's getting down to plate straight away. I mean, he's completely underhit that one.
Oh, it drops. Lovely shot. It was all in the plan. What we were so worried about. Jimmy Carney moves into a 3-2 lead. And that's a nerve settler, having won the first two before losing the next. It's an important frame for Jimmy to win, just to get his match back on track. Join us after the break for the conclusion of this semi-final. We've also got our second on the way too. Miles Deleuze and Mark Pickworth. Jimmy Carney, Aiden Finch is 3-2.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
Extension called.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
And welcome back to the IPA Freesports Champions Cup 2018. Jimmy Carney taking on Aiden Finch in our first semi-final of the evening in Solihull. Week 13 of the Champions Cup now, as we head towards the business end of the competition. You haven't missed too much. Jimmy Carney had the chance in this frame. The yellow over the bottom right pocket is the one that he missed. It was a big miss as well, because it set Aiden Finch up quite beautifully to potentially take this frame.
Yeah, the frame started off, it was Jimmy to break, absolutely huge break. Some 2 reds.
Oh,
Nice.
now. Well.
One visit. Good call.
No, I don't think I've seen that happen before in a little while. The ball striking Aiden's cue. Have a little watch of this. Double doesn't quite make it.
Yeah, he had his eyes on the white ball and didn't notice that the red was heading towards his cue and touched his cue, and in black ball that's a foul shot. So opens up the table for Jimmy. But just to update you on the start of the frame, so big break from Jimmy, potted 2 reds, and went for yellows and missed a tricky pot. Left Aiden pretty good chance, but he always had to develop the black. And as you could see, he landed on the wrong angle on his last red. He was trying to force an angle and missed the pot and ended up fouling. And just handed the advantage back to Jimmy.
Yeah, we were chatting in the break about the way this match is going. The conversation almost moved inevitably onto the way this match is going, and we were both a bit surprised that Jimmy in particular and Aiden, the shots they're missing and their shot selection just doesn't quite seem all there. But you mentioned something, that's just what playing live on the TV does to you. I know you've done it personally, so I bow to your experience in the matter. It really is just that extra level, isn't it?
It is. It's. I can speak from personal torture and experience that you know it is completely different, and you know you can only put it down to the pressure of playing in front of a live audience why some of these pots are missed. But that's the beauty of this event, that you just never know what's going to happen.
Well, no doubt about it. He will be pleased to win that frame, Jimmy Carney. He goes 4-2 up, he's 2 away. This is the last 64 as we look at it. Not quite all of our games played in this side of the draw, so we've still got some good games to look forward to, in particular from the Scots in a few weeks' time. But these are all our first round fixtures, so Mark Farnsworth making his way through right at the top of the draw. First game of the Champions Cup. And there's been some great games. The game that stood out for me so much is the game between Mika Rooney and Simon Ward, the women's world champion and the men's world championship finalist. 6-5, went to a decider down in Neath a couple of weeks back. What an absolute belter.
It certainly was, and it just shows, you know, what anyone is capable of doing on the night in a given situation. You know, she pushed Simon, who is an undoubted, you know, elite player, and you know, she pushed him all the way, and you know, had a chance to win. So yeah, great excitement. But that's what this competition is providing week on week, and long may it continue.
And Finch has made a ball. And again, he's piling into these breaks. It was inevitable that he's going to pot something. He's got a pretty wide open table here. There's no real sort of wrong option. I suppose the only thing that will stop him choosing reds is the red over the bottom pocket, blocked by the yellow. It's a really good spread.
Yeah, going for the yellows just on the fact that that yellow is covering this bottom right hand pocket. If it hadn't been there, he'd have been pretty certain to be going for reds. So he's got a little bit of work to do. This this yellow here is one that he really needs to think about his positional play.
Just to the left of the black.
Very quick, punchy type player in Finch, you know, quick around the table. Not like some of his older guys. But, certainly doesn't waste any of his seconds, that's for certain.
Oh, it wobbled, but it didn't go for Aiden Finch.
So despite having the yellow over the corner bag, I think Jimmy's going to be sort of relishing the challenge here to play the skill shot.
Just clipped the near cushion on the way through, and it hasn't dropped. The pace has gone against him there.
Yeah, probably would have dropped in week one, whereas the cushions are a bit slidey, but as the table is being more bedded in, you've got to be more precise on those rail shots.
I think he's tried to play a skill shot there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the best option, to be honest. He was asking a lot there.
Skill shot for...
He was looking to get through a gap and sort of arc the white a little bit through that gap between the yellow and the black. But he's got options here. He can look to pop this one into that bag there and maybe bring the white across just like that. That was a great shot there from Jimmy, and that's the danger, you know, that of going for yellows that Aiden had. That he, despite covering that bag, he was it didn't really guarantee him any advantage.
Which is the beauty of black ball, of course.
Sure.
And for those unfamiliar with the skill shot rule and thinking, well, why on earth is Jimmy Carney still playing at the table? He's just potted a yellow. As long as he pots one of his colours, he's absolutely fine to pot one of the oppositions as well. It encourages attacking play, just like that. Nicely done from Jimmy Carney.
Yeah, this is looking a bit ominous for Aiden now. The missed pots column is just getting a little bit too high, and you just can't keep giving players Jimmy Carney's quality chance after chance, because he's just going to keep on taking them. And there's a couple of balls now from a 5-2 lead. Straight in black.
Simple as you like. For Jimmy Carney, he moves into a 5-2 lead. And as Kev mentioned, it's not that he needs any gifts, and he's had a couple of them. This is the completed second half of the first round draws. These games have all been done and dusted, and we've had some cracking games in this one as well. We actually saw one of our better ones last week. World champion Ben Davis beating former world champion multiple times, 6-5 Andy Lucas. Terrific game that was last week.
Yeah, there's been a few. The Jason Remington Michael Rhodes game as well back in Sheffield. That was a great match. Jason up early on in that. Michael came right back, and that was edge of your seat stuff for that one.
Yeah, there has been some fantastic games. Ronan McCarthy right at the top of the board there, week number 2. Still yet to drop a frame in the Champions Cup. Ronan McCarthy won his semi and his final by 6 frames to nothing. He's the only player who can boast that record.
Yeah, I think he might find a little bit tougher in the last 16 against John Mcallister.
Oh, we can't wait for that match. But if he wins that one 6-0, there really will be some people sitting up and taking notice. Good break from Jimmy Carney, gets a couple down. And this is really ominous now for Aiden Finch. He may well have played his final shot of the tournament here, because this looks pretty wide open if you're Jimmy Carney.
Yeah, and we alluded to the fact that he changed his break up after the first break he had. So the first break he did a cut break, and none of the balls really challenged any of the pockets, and immediately changed it to the centre. And as you can see there from that break, a great outcome for him. So he's just got to dot the I's and cross the T's on this frame, and he's going to be in tonight's final.
Well, he's called his extension. I think he's just debating which colour choice, because it's not too obvious. Both have their downsides. That's nicely played. Really nicely played. Frees the black up as well. His most difficult shot, I think, could well be his first. The rest should be almost pulled by numbers, really.
Probably would have preferred not to have glanced off that red, as he pocketed the pot, but he shouldn't cause him too much trouble. It's going to come down to his positional shot on the last red. That will be the key to the frame and match. He's got wide areas to get into, so I think Aiden's probably fearing the worst. So if he's got a slight angle, he'll be looking to stun the white and bring it down to this bottom end of the table. If he's straight in, he'll have to screw back with a little bit of reverse side.
That's exactly what he's done. Drop this in close to dead weight, I think, and just automatically beyond the black. Just double checking every single possible outcome.
I think he's just got a little bit more angle on that than he would actually like, so he may have to bring the white off the cushion behind the black and take the black into the same pocket.
That's exactly what he's done. Played it well.
Got a nice little nudge off the yellow that helped.
Yeah, routine black for Jimmy Carney, who takes the match against his good pal Aiden Finch. Really good win in the end for the seed tonight, who moves through to tonight's final to face either Miles Luce or Mark Pickworth. These are the final stats, and it was really close at the start of this match. It was 2-2 of course, and Jimmy Carney won 4 on the spin.
Yeah, if you look at the middle section there, the break and dish, reverse dish, you know, pretty equal there, but the difference for me was around those missed pots, and you know, Aiden just missed too many routine pots there, let Jimmy off the hook a little bit, and you know, Jimmy just took advantage of those missed pots, and it was pretty clinical in the end. So well played, Jimmy, and unlucky to Aiden.
We will see our second semi-final, Miles Luce versus Mark Pickworth. That is next.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
Yeah, well, we were watching you, like, you know.
I could just see one of the frames there, I broke well, and I had one shot, there was a natural one off in the middle, so I tried to put it on the jet side.
Of course, yeah.
Like when you think,
2-2-2. Yeah. It's possible there, but yeah, it was a decent game, mate. It was.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
And welcome back to Solihull IPA Freesports Champions Cup action. Our winner of the first semi-final, Jimmy Carney. Congratulations, Jimmy. Got there in the end. Bit of a slow start, but did you feel like you grew into that match?
definitely, the more table time you get, the more comfortable you feel. And fortunately, Aiden was ring rusty. He's not played for 8 months, and he gave me a couple of chances that I wouldn't normally get against him, and it allowed me to settle.
And in terms of the Champions Cup experience, how much have you enjoyed it in terms of playing the quick-fire matches, and of course a player you know really well as well?
Yeah, well, it's always exciting playing Aiden. We are good mates, but you'd rather play him in the final than a first round. The shot clock is new. I'm probably a slow player at best, and so 45 seconds seems like a blur to me, but I think I got used to it.
And how much are you looking forward to the final now? You can relax, enjoy this next game. I know you know a little bit about both players, and you're looking forward to the final?
Well, I haven't missed a match yet. I've been tuned in every Monday, so I'll sit there and enjoy watching this match, and I look forward to the final.
Well, we wish you all the very best of luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And let's take a little look at how he got there. Welcome back. That was Jimmy Carney getting the win over Aiden Finch. Delighted to say Aiden has actually joined us in the commentary box for our second semi-final between Miles and Mark. Only fair that we give you the right of reply, Aiden. How did that semi-final go for you?
Well, I've been out of the game a while. I've had my second daughter recently. She's 11 weeks old tomorrow, so I've not really been playing too much, and I thought I'd try and wing it, but it didn't really work out for me, unfortunately.
Well, it's a fair enough excuse if ever you wanted one. Big congratulations, of course. And it's Jimmy alluded to it. It's an interesting experience playing Jimmy, I imagine, as you are very good mates. And
yeah, we are. Yeah.
in terms of how you approach that going into it, obviously, first game back in a while, it's on TV, it's against a good mate.
Yeah.
That must put your head all sorts of places.
Well, to be honest, I tried to be as open-minded as I could with it all. So I've played on TV before, but it just all seemed a bit alien to me, really. I don't get to play on blue cloths that often either, so certain shots you have to play differently in comparison to green, and that caught me out as well. So there we go, all the excuses are out.
Got them all in first, that's the important
this
thing.
is it. I've got a bad foot, bad back. No, seriously.
Well, this is our second semi-final. We've got Miles DeLuce on the left taking on Mark Pickworth on the right-hand side. And I know Mark in particular has been really looking forward to this. He's a big member of the IPA workforce. He's at many of the tour events, helping out with just about everything. Now he actually gets to pick up a cue and do what he does best.
He's got the yellow.
He's got a ball. Didn't look to be too pleased with his break. But as we know, getting a ball is everything. We mentioned actually in your semi-final, Aiden, you seem to be really taking out something on your break. Didn't leave anything on the table.
No, that's what I thought. I was just like, well, just go for it. You might only be here once, so why not?
Yeah, certainly didn't have any trouble with any dry breaks, that's for sure.
I think Mark's going for the yellow in the middle here, is he? By the two reds. Yep.
It's a good part.
Yeah, he's played that nicely.
So just really survey the table. Yellows is the choice for Mark.
He'd want to be on the yellow near the red by the baulk line if he can. That would be the ideal ball right now. I'm not sure he's on that though, so he might have to take the yellow in the middle of the table into the corner and screw down to where the other yellows are now, into the bottom right hand side of the table. Just gives you a few more options going this way, because it looks like the yellow goes in both middles now with the nudge. The other yellow goes in the bottom left corner, so you have to be, sort of intricate with the white here, but you can finish these.
Yeah, I'd love them to have been a bit more open and easy for his first frame, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. He's played that well. Used the red as a buffer. Now he's got the yellow into the bottom left-hand corner to leave himself the yellow in the left middle, and then yellow in the corner pocket there. The problem really is getting on the black from that yellow near the red, because you have to be bang on the yellow to get the pot. Then to try and get back for the black as well, it is quite difficult. You'd like to be straight here to run that through, but a little look there made think that he's got to drop this in dead weight.
Yeah, it's always the way, isn't it? It's sometimes difficult to tell with the camera angles as to how precise a shot is, but you can always tell from a player's face.
Definitely, yeah. I think he's actually okay here though. Just slightly off, as you can see, but that's why he's played it with power. Oh well, I didn't see that as a trick shot.
But has he snookered?
I'm not sure.
He's completely fluked the yellow.
Yeah.
Has he ended up behind the red? I think he has.
Yeah.
Or
It's just because he had that slight angle. That was why he had to hit it hard. He's got very lucky there. He'll take that all day long.
Oh, Mark Pickworth, how do you like it?
Wow. He's still got to
me.
cue this black. I mean, it's a bit of a dodgy bridge.
We'll have to the state of that fluke, this is the least he could have done. It is pot a really difficult black.
Yeah.
He's got to earn it. Oh, and it drops.
Mr. Pickworth. That is what you call naughty Paul.
Well, I tell you what, considering how difficult and intricate that break was, yes, he's potted an outrageous fluke as well, but he'll be delighted to get that one through.
Definitely. Doesn't matter how they go in, as long as they go in.
Absolutely. Well, here we take a look at our last 32 in the Champions Cup. These are all of our finals. Mark Farnsworth going past Mickey Oliver at 6-0 in our very, very first week. Brenda Mccarthy doing the same thing a week later. There have been some less competitive finals. There have definitely been plenty of competitive ones, though. Take a look at the amount of 6-4s, 6-5s. Last week, of course, Toby Bolt, the amateur, going through against the world champion. Anything can happen in this competition. Is this the feeling amongst you as players that everyone has a chance?
Well, I think the race is so short that everyone does have a chance first to 6. So even if you settle early and you can nick a few frames, it really does put pressure on your opponent. So, and you know, there's a lot of good players in this event, so anyone can win really.
Miles with his first break, first time at the table. He's made a ball, made a couple of balls.
I think he'd like reds, but the red on the side rail touching could be a problem. It's just a little bit off the cushion, but I think he will go reds. Just the first part is easy, and then it's trying to work out a route, then to probably play that red as a cross double. He could play it first shot, but that's very risky.
Yeah, maybe just get one in the pocket, get the nerves settled first.
Ball, first frame. I don't know if he can play the red in the middle and not the yellow away from the black and then play the cross double. He might look at that in a shot or two's time. Played that well. Yes, I think you might see him go into the corner, then play the red in the middle to try and knock the yellow next to the black, then play the cross double. Or he might even leave the cross double last if he does clear the black away. It's all personal preference now, really, how you see the table when you're there.
Oh, both players seem to have settled into this match really nicely.
I think now that's what he's looking at. He's playing the red in the middle, try and knock the black and yellow to free that out. Then he's got the option of a cross double, that to shot after or nearer the end of the finish. The black does also go, so he doesn't really have to move it, but if you can get that space, it does make these clearance easier.
There's the pot, there's the white. He wanted to contact the yellow more than he did the black. It's free, it's not ideal.
No, it's not ideal. It's all about that ball on the side rail, but I think Miles knew that from the beginning, going for reds. Just all about working it out now. I think he'll pop the red into the left corner, come up, play the other red in the left corner, then play the cross double last. Because he should get on the black if he plays it last. He'd be unlucky not to. He's got a bit more angle than I thought, actually. Wow. Top corner pocket, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he fancied the double at all, did he? He's
No.
taking the opportunity there.
Yeah, I think the white was going towards the yellows, which is why he's going this way rather than the other. But this is very tough up the cushion.
Well, this will test how his keying is in the
Definitely.
first frame. This
These
needs
are
to be
never easy.
so precise.
He's not reached.
Yeah, it's too soft. Won't get there.
Time out.
Maybe he got a kick.
The referee has called a timeout.
I don't think that's a kick. I think he's just hit it a bit softer than intended. Mark now has the chance to clear these up now. Go to the other end of the table, get that end cleared, come down here for a choice of 3.
It's always so nice as a player when you can come to the table after your opponent's missed quite far into their break. Everything all of a sudden becomes so clear.
Yeah, all the traffic's gone. It's just all about controlling the cue ball.
Well, he already looked very decent in that first frame, Mark Pickworth. Looked like he's playing pretty well. Speaking to him before the start of proceedings tonight, and he admits he's not been on the practice table a lot. He's been focusing on other things, like real life. Would you believe it has got in the way? I know you know a thing or two about that, Aiden.
I can definitely empathise with that.
And he essentially has come in with the attitude tonight of, we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah.
And so far, he seems to be doing all right.
Yeah, he's doing well. He'll take that fluke all day long in the first frame. Now he's just got to make sure he gets either high on this yellow or plays the yellow in the middle and then comes back for the black. Wow.
Oh, it's not dropped.
I think that's where he's concentrating so much on getting on the one in the middle that he's sort of taken his eye off the pot a little bit there. He'll be a little bit disappointed with that, but he's still got control.
Well, yeah, the fact that it's not dropped, goodness me, how hasn't it?
Yeah, true.
But that it's not dropped over that pocket really isn't the end of the world, because Miles is still in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, massively. I mean, he can pot the red in the corner, then I think he's got a skill shot, but even then, you can't really get that white out from there. He might even play a cross double on the red and bring the white up, but then it's really hard to get on the black, so nothing here is easy.
Yeah, all the control in this frame is now with Mark.
Definitely. He might even play a cross double if he comes the backside of the red snooker in behind. Playing containing shot. That was a snooker in behind. I think he went for.
It's an interesting setup now. Almost a twofold shot, that last one from Miles, because yes, he didn't get the snooker that he was intending behind the red, but in putting the red so close to that yellow, it now becomes a little bit more skills shottable, if that's, if that's a word.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure he'll play the skill shot, but he can put Miles under a bit of pressure here. It's just the pace of this shot you have to be careful with, because yeah, he's played that okay. You can't really skill shot that from there and get on the red and then get on the black, because he's so close to those that I think the red won't follow through onto the yellow and then through into the pocket easily. That close, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, especially when it's not bang on line as well.
That's right. Yeah, don't blame Miles, putting a bit of distance between the white and the incoming yellow. It's a great shot. It's a fantastic touch shot there from Miles.
Yeah, really nice.
They're so hard to judge at the best of times, let alone this is his first frame where he's had the hand on the table, so he seems to have got the pace already.
Yeah, total snooker called, which does mean that Mark doesn't have to hit the cushion after contact, but has to hit the ball first. That's the main priority.
Yeah, well hit.
He's got a good hit there.
Bit of cat and mouse going on now.
I just wonder, yeah, he's lining up the skill shot because this is very possible down the rail now.
Yeah.
And if he can leave the white in the perfect position, he's got a chance of going for the skill shot.
Yeah,
We might see Miles go game here.
I think, yeah, you can only keep doing this for so long. You have to attack at some stage, and I think that's what Miles is going to do. Wow, that really isn't easy for Miles now. I think he might have actually tried to do it off that shot, but it's very difficult.
Yeah, the pace he played it at makes me think that as well.
It was never going to be easy no matter what he played, so...
Over to you, Miles. He's tried the skill shot. It's not come off, and that's all but going to concede the frame to Mark Pickworth.
It's not actually that easy for Mark, because where the red's gone, he's gone in front of the yellow, because normally he would just either flick the black off the cushion and come up and then play the clearance with the yellow and the black. But now with that red going where it has, it's not actually that easy for Mark here. He could play a plant, but then you have to be careful where the yellow's going. It's not easy. I think Miles would be actually quite pleased with the way that's come out. With the black still on the rail, this touch shot is tricky.
There's a few different ways you can go here. He's called his extension. He plays yellow on the cushion in behind the red. No, he goes for the red.
I think he tried to get the black out with the red, leave the red on the bottom cushion, black over to the left-hand pocket, and then go for the clearance, but the double kiss really hasn't helped him at all.
Yeah, no, you can say that again.
He's gone from being big favourite to now this is anyone's really, if not Miles' favourite now. Now this could be a skill shot here, but it's so far away. He could try and get this in front of the yellow if he can.
Miles taking a good long look at it. This is not how I expected the second frame to go at one stage of this one.
Definitely not. He might be able to squeeze this inside the yellow and take the pocket, maybe even double kiss it in. But it's not easy, whatever he does. But he should be favourite after the shot for the frame. Yeah. Mark's got one into the top corner. Very tough.
It's do or die, I think, this for Mark. I'm not sure he's got any other option.
No, this is... You have to go game. Cued it like a dream.
How about it? What a good shot. Knew he was going to be on the black after ramping up.
Well played, Mark.
Black's good. That's a terrific clearance there. Only 2 balls, but a lot of pressure on that black, and the yellow up to the top was absolutely superb.
Yeah, cued the yellow beautifully.
Here's a look at Mark's most recent tournament history. It was at the Seniors Worlds in Bradford. Master Brian Halcrow in the main competition in round 2. And as I mentioned, not really been seen on the tour this year. He's been taking some time off. And a good result in the last 16 of the British Professional, losing to Clint Ianson, as I think everyone's done it at some point or another.
Yeah, Clint's
no shame in doing that. Is he a player you've played before, Aiden?
Clint, I played Clint once, quite a few years ago in the IPA in the last 16, and I won 7-6, and then lost to Rob Chilton in the quarterfinal 7-3.
You must be one of the few pros who's got a winning record over Clint Ianson, I imagine.
Well,
certainly an undefeated one.
Well, it's so long ago, I don't know if that still counts, but yeah.
Mark has the break. He's 2-0 up.
Needing 2 racks to 0.
And this is a key frame. We saw this actually in your game when Jimmy went 2-0 up. It's important that you won the third frame, because
Yeah.
3-0 and 2-1 is such a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to get a break and clearance then, and then just try to settle down a bit. Not too easy here at all for Mark now. Not sure what he's going to play. Might play a plant in the middle. I think that's all he's got. Yeah, very tough.
Has he done another fluke?
He hasn't. He hasn't.
Can't have 2 in 3 frames, goodness me.
Yeah, Miles will be looking to the heavens if that went in, I think.
It looked for all the world like it was for most
Definitely.
of that run, didn't it?
But again, it's still not easy for Miles. He's got awkward queuing. He'd like to take reds now, obviously, with that ball being over the pocket. I think he'll take the red into the top left corner. And then he's got a big pocket down here with the other red. So he has got a chance for a finish, but as long as he makes the first ball.
Yeah, first ball's unquestionably the toughest.
Yep.
It is there for him though. It's a little bit awkward queuing, you can see that. Almost spidery with his hand.
Cued that lovely. Never left that chance, he was straight down it. Don't know if he can cut this in the middle or he has to play a cross double. I think he can cut it. Use the yellow to hold, then play the yellow down the cushion. Oh, sorry, the red down the cushion off the yellow to make the yellow go safe. Then the red in the middle, little plant on the reds, and then work out the black. No, missed the double.
Yeah, missing the double was not in the plan.
It was never easy. Might play a skill shot here. Try and pop this one in the bottom left with bottom left hand side. Send the white along the cushion and play the plant.
Yeah, that's the red. And he's going to look to knock off. You see he's playing right at the bottom of the board. It looks like the shot.
Yeah, that's what he's went for.
Didn't quite get it.
No, just hit the yellow too thin. He needs to hit it thicker to get the plant on the yellow and the red. Is that going to reach?
You can always tell by a player's reaction.
Yeah, foul.
And the worst part of it was, as it hasn't hit a cushion after contact, it's a foul as well.
Yeah.
Big chance now for Miles.
I think he'll play the red down the cushion to flick the yellow onto the bottom rail and then go for the clearance. So then he'll probably play the red in the middle. Or he's actually potting the yellow. I wasn't keen on that. I can't be too critical after my match though, you know, so yeah, it's a lot easier in here, I tell you.
That's what we keep telling Kev every week. Later on, got Simon on commentary, he made the final.
Yeah, and he didn't really get a shot in the final, did he?
He got precisely 4, as he'll tell you.
Yeah, but Simon Ward can do that to anyone.
Safety shot is the shot then for Miles Lalouse. Maybe Mark has another chance, but these yellows now are very congested.
Yeah, very tough to do anything positive in this situation. The only thing you're really doing is opening up the black right now, so it's tough. Might even use the extension on this shot just to work out something, but yeah, it wasn't easy no matter what you done there.
might just have extended this frame again, because he's made Miles's red on the cushion difficult once more.
Yeah.
And Miles just slightly miscuing the shot and a visit pot on the yellow when he had the chance to go again. Might really cost him in this frame ultimately.
Yeah, I think Miles is still big favourite for the frame.
That red doesn't pot. Mark's not got anything easy.
It's not easy out there when you're not struggling, but just trying to find something, trying to make something happen. It's not easy.
And of course, it's the constant paradox for any pool player. The more balls you pot, the more trouble you're in sometimes in situations like this.
Yeah. I mean, Mark's in a situation where he can't really pot much anyway, so he's always behind in this frame. I think he's just tried to block the black pocket, like the black going into the bottom left corner there, just to give Miles less options.
I get a sense of deja vu after watching that.
Yeah. They're both trying to make something happen, but the more they try, the more difficult it's getting.
Yeah, Mark's having a good look at that because he's ended up behind the yellow. If he can sneak this up to the top of the table, I wonder if he can pot it.
I think he might even look at a skill shot if that can pot to free this bottom corner, because Miles does have a dead red on the side cushion there, so it might be an idea to open the table up for himself if he can. Oh, is that cue ball?
Cue ball's okay. But Mark's removed that problem yellow at least.
Yeah, he's just chipping away, really, trying to get himself a chance. But Miles is going game here by the look of it. There's my old man and his sunglasses. Check him out.
Safety shot chosen.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure he was doubly sure before he went for the clearance.
He's not really left Mark anything. I can understand why he's done that. He's not happy, but he hasn't got a lot no matter what he goes for, really. It's not all break dishes, is it, eh? You know, this is the other side now.
Absolutely. Well, it's a totally different game to what we saw between yourself and Jimmy.
Yeah, we both like to go for it. I probably go for it a bit too much, but it's the way I enjoy how to play, so.
Well, Miles gets the plan, and I think he played it at that pace to try and free the yellow on, or the red even on the side cushion. He hasn't quite managed to do that, and he's put another red on the opposite side cushion.
So, middle, corner, then screw up for the middle, and then leave the cross double, I think. Or he could play the cross double after this, use the yellow to hold, and then he's got a choice of the red in the corner or the red in the middle. Just depends what way he wants to go. I personally would play it last because you should be on the black with the yellow being the buffer. But he's playing it now by the look of it. He looks quite straight. Quite near the cushion as well. He might be jacking this up a bit.
We've already Seen Miles attempt to double.
Yes.
Didn't get that one earlier on. He's not going anywhere near that one.
Yeah, that's what I meant when he had to jack up, I think, there, to sort of punch it in, to straighten the red, because it widens as the slower you play it like that, without being how straight he was.
Well, has Mark got himself a chance here? He's stuck at this frame.
Yeah, this is the prize for perseverance right now.
Yeah, absolutely that.
Played that nicely there. I think he has got the snooker. Yep, just got his bad balls out. Now Mark's favourite for the frame.
Isn't Paul a funny old game?
It really is, honestly. And every day's different. It's one day you could be absolutely buzzing, potting off the lampshades. The next day, you know, who knows? Who knows?
Well, 5 minutes ago, Mark Pickworth was rank outsider, and it was difficult to see anyway that he could get himself back into this frame, and now he's big favourite. And he's the even bigger favourite now.
Yeah.
Foul, one free shot, one visit.
Nothing's been really easy for Miles though to get into the match at all. I think he's trying to find something more than it being there, which is tough, especially on TV. You've been waiting for this for ages, and then your chances don't really come, and it does put a lot of pressure on yourself. Where it's short races as well, first to six, you do feel as though you have to make every chance count. But I think that's where the top players are so composed, and obviously where they play so much and get to the business end of tournaments, that they deal with these situations a lot better.
Mark just selects to clear out Miles' ball at the top of the table.
Yeah, he's played that in an area there where he's literally got the choice of nigh on every ball on the table. As long as you play in that area, you know you have balls in the corner. The only ball you're not going to be on is near the black. You'll always have a shot somewhere. That's why he's just played it the way he did. Not ideal, but still okay. Can take the one in the corner, which is in the middle of the table next to the red. He could play the one in the middle, jacking up, but well, that probably would be a decent shot because you should be covering the red as well, but he'll be covering the red playing this shot. He's played that very positive. I think he played that with an air of caution there, so he did snooker him on the red.
Rammed it in though.
He's been hitting those in very positive. The one where he's played it in the top corner and then got on the black. He's confident in his cueing, definitely. I don't know if that yellow next to the black goes in the middle. I don't think it does, because otherwise he'd be looking straight at it. That's very well controlled. He's got a slight angle there as well, so he can punch across to the left-hand side, then play the yellow into the right-hand side corner. Choice of pockets for the black.
He's worked tremendously hard in this frame to get this opportunity, Mark Pickworth. And at long last, someone pots the black in frame number 3. And it's not the man that we thought was going to pot the black in frame number 3 about 5 minutes ago. Mark Pickworth comes back from the dead in that frame and take the win over Miles Toulouse in frame 3. This is what we've seen of Miles in recent months. He's been at both tour events this year. Lost to Toby Bolt in the Scottish Open. We saw Toby play last week. He qualified against the world champion Ben Davis, so he's clearly in very good form. Liam Dunster in the Welsh Open as well. He's had a couple of pretty rank draws, to put it mildly.
Yeah, but they're never easy draws. Toby's a good friend of mine. Obviously, good win against Ben last week and against Rob Donkin as well. So, yeah, he's confident lad. You know, he's up for it. You know, no matter who he plays.
Well, what I loved most about Toby last week was he said in his interview after he won the semi-final, he's out to make a name for himself, and he went into that final completely fearless.
Yeah.
And you could see he was playing with far less pressure than Ben was, because all the onus was on Ben to win that as the defending world champion, first round Champions Cup, playing an amateur in the final. All the pressure was on Ben to win it, and Toby just went in, relaxed. Well, here's my chance, and seized it.
That's what Toby does. He doesn't really get easily flustered at the table. He's very confident in his own ability, and he plays the game quite conservative but attacking. He'll play very attacking frames, but some frames when he knows he's got to control the game, he will control the game. He's got both sides now. He's not been playing pool long, but he's learnt that side of it very early in his career.
Well, Mark Pickworth has got a table to survey here. Miles Duluth didn't get into that break at all. You can see there by how congested the table is.
Yeah, that's not split at all.
No explosion out the pack.
No. And the ones that did went back in.
Well, Mark's potted a ball just to give himself something to go at, really.
Yeah, he can take control here. I think he'll play the yellow along the bottom cushion, flick the red up, just to take control of that corner pocket. And then Miles is in problems again, unless that happens. Now Miles has got a chance. He was bouncing out of his chair there. Can get control of this frame. If he can drop this one in the middle, then play the plant, keep the red over the corner, then he's favourite for this frame, because Mark really doesn't have a lot to go out of if he does that.
Yeah, the red closest to the right middle is what Miles is eyeing up.
Very tricky, because you have to play this nigh on dead weight as well. It's not easy. Oh, he's gone corner. Yeah, it's a good white. I like that.
He's played the white there, hasn't he? More than anything else. Slightly cautious, but you can't really blame Miles for that after the way these first three frames have gone for him.
Yeah.
Time out. Not frozen. Time running.
Mark straight down to the table to play a shot. This is what he played. Just a little stab.
I think it's just all about distance, this shot.
Well, that yellow is going to be a problem for Mark. It goes without saying. It's imprisoned, really, behind those three reds.
But he kind of needs it to be there as well, because if it's not there, then Miles is big favourite for the frame. He'll try and keep that there as long as possible. That's a great shot. Very nicely played there, because he's freed the reds away as well.
He's playing well, Mark.
Yeah, he's got a canny brain, hasn't he? He's when he looks like he's in a bit of trouble, he knows exactly the shot to get him back in control. He's just tried to snooker him there behind that red. I think he'll just glance off the yellow near the corner. Nothing too exciting here, just get the hit the cushion, let Miles then worry about him. 3-0 up. Oh, it's gone in.
I don't think he wanted that to go in. You can tell there by that reaction.
Yeah.
It's all in the reactions, I tell you. He just wanted this to knock off the jaw and stay exactly where it was.
I think once he flicked it off the yellow, he thought it would hold, but maybe just a little bit strong for it to drop in. Yeah.
Good chance now this for Miles, goes without saying.
One free shot, one
Yeah,
visit.
foul from Mark there. Just trying to hold the white behind the yellow. Very, very difficult shot. Just overplayed it. But this goes without saying, it's a big chance for Miles, and one that he maybe has to take at 3-0 down.
Yeah,
Got one shot here to clear the table for himself and then clean up.
Yeah, that's what he might even play the 3-ball plant here. So the red comes away after he's played the plant. And then he'll still keep one red near the corner. He's looking at something else. Wow.
Well, he's got 2 reds down.
I think he went for the skill shot there just to knock the yellow in. But it was very tough. Very, very tough shot. I fancied the 3-ball plant personally. The red that's gone in, I'd have played that off the red and yellow and tried to plant those. Then you'd have had 2 reds near the corner and then potentially an easier chance for clearance.
Timeout called by the
Stops at the call, time
referee. Total snooker is the decision. Miles just wants another go at that shot that he's just played. Has he got enough on it? He hasn't.
One free shot, one visit.
So 1 free shot, and I don't think Miles is going to make the same mistake again. This yellow's going in, I think, on this
I
occasion.
think so, yeah. Mark will be disappointed there because if he does hit that, then he's not. Well, I think he is still favourite for the frame, but it's potentially giving the frame away. But there is pressure on Miles. He's 3-0 down. I'm surprised. It must. I don't know, because he went for the skill shot earlier, so I think that plant must go. So it surprises me that he's playing the double to get it out. It's okay. The black's the problem.
Yeah, it's come out nicely for him in terms of his reds.
Yeah,
Every red
nice
now has
nudge
a
as
pocket.
well on that red, that it didn't go in. Because he played it with side, the side has made the red stay over the pocket. Had he played it naturally, that would have dropped in and he'd have had potentially a more difficult shot next.
Yeah, every red has a pocket. You could potentially look at taking the black up to the left middle.
I think he might go top corner with the black. Play for an area here. To give yourself a choice. He might even look to knock the yellow and black after cutting this one down the rail. A little bit of right hand side. Just drops it in. This is the problem now, getting on that black from this angle.
Yeah, I think it's the shot he suggested up to the top left corner. Looks like what Miles is wanting to take on, but he's got to do pretty well to hold the white here.
I don't
Got
think
a lot
he
of
can.
angle.
I think he has to play it off the yellow, and that's the only way he can hold the white to an angle where he can pop the ball, because I think the black's covered into the right corner as well. So I think he's just got to play it off the yellow as close to dead weight as you can, and then try and play it even the top corner or the middle. I think if he plays it round the angles, that's very tough. If he plays it natural, he doesn't have a shot, so I think he has to play it off the yellow.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's eyeing up. Current thought process, something along the lines of, why is it never straightforward?
Yeah.
Shot clock ticks. And he's going to end up snookered.
That was very difficult what he tried. I don't think he could have actually done it, to be perfectly honest. I think the only way he could have had a shot on the black was by playing it off the yellow.
As he flukes it, oh!
Where's this going?
Fluke actually would have been a bit of a disservice. That was exactly the shot he was playing.
I mean, you play it, but you know you.
And it is throwing caution to the wind a touch, isn't it?
Yeah. You have to though in that scenario. What else do you go for? You have to go for something. On a good day they go in. On another day, you give a chance to your opponent. So many variables in this game. That's why it's so intriguing to play.
And also so infuriating at times.
Yeah,
I imagine.
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Very well controlled there from Mark.
Almost goes without saying, Mark now huge favourite for the frame. Just think that yellow close to black. He's just taking a look at it now if it pots into that corner pocket.
I think it does, but personally I would play the yellow into the corner, then use the other yellow that's going in the same corner to flick it out. So the black would come towards the side rail and the yellow would come towards the bottom rail. I think that's why he's played that with side now, to play this next ball. This isn't easy. The time he's taking on the shot tells me this isn't easy. He has to, play safe. Yeah, just trying to cover the black with the yellow. But he has to play a shot now because he can see the black. Sometimes it's actually worse off snookering the player.
Because it gives them that ultra conservative option.
That's right.
Stodge up the frame.
Whereas now, you know, balls are going to be travelling after Miles hits this. You can't really roll up to it. You can, but I think Mark pretty much does the same thing after if he does. Yeah, one good shot in the middle and it's all over.
It sounds so easy, Aiden.
It does sound easy, yeah. Playing it's, I mean, at 3-0 up, you're confident of potting this, I think. If you just drop this in, should be frame over. That's all you're thinking. Yeah.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And this should be 4-0 now. He's had to work very hard in these last two frames.
Yeah, I mean, he's played a very intelligent pool here, Mark.
Nicely done. It's 4-0 to Mark Pickworth. Miles Deleuze must be wondering what he's got to do to win a frame at this point. It's 4 on the spin for Mark Pickworth. This is what we've got coming up next week. We actually mentioned Flint Ironson a little bit earlier. He's the seed next week in Sheffield. Our third to last group in the Champions Cup. He's got Craig Brown, Gavin Robinson and Jamie Clark in his group as well. What do you make to those 4 players?
They're all good. Clint, I would say, is favourite. Gavin Robinson, great player. I've actually got him in the tour on Friday. Yes, he's just come back from an event playing well, so that'll be interesting. Jamie Clark, also a good player. For me, Clint's favourite, but as you can see, you know, anything can happen on the night. There's so many qualifiers and shocks in this event because it's first to 6. So anything can happen, but I would expect Clint to go through.
He's got to make his way past Craig Brown, then the winner of Gavin and Jamie, to make his way through to the next round of the Champions Cup. Just a reminder of the format. We're currently in week 13 of 16 weeks of qualifiers, 4 players in each week. 1 of 4 makes it through to our next round. We've got 4 weeks of knockout pool. Obviously the last 16 and the quarterfinals. Same format, and then 1 final week, 2 semis and the grand final. One thing's for sure, whilst we've all, I think, really enjoyed watching the opening 13 weeks now, the final 5 weeks are going to be absolute fireworks.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Now, Miles Deleuze might have a chance here. Mark has broken dry, and Miles has got a ball down to choose reds.
I don't know.
Cute little pot, that, actually.
It is a good shot. I'm not sure if he can pot this red in the middle near the black, yeah. I think this could really open the frame up. He's played the double. I think he was hoping to free the black out with that shot, but it seemed to have stayed where it has.
Oh, he's had a real trouble with doubles in this match, Marcelou, so we'll be pleased just to get that one down, I think.
This is still a difficult clearance. The black's not easy. You've got a red near the yellow at the top, one near the side cushion on this side.
He's got after that red now. That's a really good shot.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that red near the black goes in the left corner, so he might have to play to cut back the red into the, as you look, the top right or bottom, sorry, let me look, top left, yeah. And then knock the black out last. This white's doing some travelling if he wants to clear up. He's looking to cut this down the rail, knock the red out, hopefully be on it. If not, he's got the other red on the side cushion up the other end of the table.
All the red needs to go, though.
It's not bad that it stayed near the pocket. I think you sort of take that from there. Because the two yellows now can't go into that corner. They have to go the other side, which means position on those two are quite difficult. He might be able to get in front of this red now and just contain. I don't think, can he see the red? No, he can't. Yeah, so Mark, again, favourite for the frame now. Nothing's been easy for Miles in this whole match, though, is it really?
I was just thinking the same thing, actually. Even the one chance where Mark breaks dry and Miles at the table, pots the ball first. You take a look at the lie of the balls, and it was tough.
Yeah.
Station goal.
That's why this game is, yeah, we can play havoc with the brain, definitely.
He's used the extension here, Miles.
He's trying to put the red in the middle off the side cushion. Unlucky.
Good effort.
Great effort. He was nicely on the red as well. He could have got back up for the other one. Again, Mark just being patient. Not doing anything silly, just trying to stay in the frame. I mean, now he's favourite in this frame, but in other frames he's just stuck in there, and that's what's won in the frame, is perseverance.
Yellow goes in, which means Mark's going to have a shot and a visit.
One free shot,
And is now huge favourite to take a 5-0 lead here. He's just got to be careful, because that red over the top left is going to be a problem for him. But he has got a shot to develop that, should he wish.
Yeah, I think he might even play where the three yellows are, the left-hand side one, drop that in the middle. No, he's going corner. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea, because they might even be a plant, those two yellows. So if he can pot the red, screw out, have a choice of 4 yellows potentially. It might be a plant, might not be. Yeah, he might just drop this in the middle. Then you can go middle. And then should be favourite for the frame. I can understand why he would want to pot the red with all those yellows being in that area.
He's changed his mind about 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
here.
He's gone to flick. That's come out nice.
Oh, a little shake of the head, but that I think is the perfectionist talking
Yeah.
in Mark Pickford's brain, because
Definitely.
that's come out pretty nice for him.
Yeah, the yellow's gone. The red's gone safe. He's on the yellow. Screw it back. He should be on a choice of yellows into the other corner, or drop it through. I think it's a plant he's looking at now. I think I'd have been tempted there to maybe get the rest and screw back centre table. It's okay, if he can drop this in the middle, the white pushes forward, then he'll have a choice of yellows. Probably the one he's nearest to. Yeah. Just not perfect. He might go to the one on the bottom cushion. Yeah. Doesn't want to be straight. You have to sort of punch this now. He didn't really want to do that.
Just makes it missable.
It's just, now you're still confident on the pot, but it's just getting the cue ball where you try and get the other yellow in a potable position. So he might even come side rail and then take the yellow into the top corner. Yeah, he wanted to bring that over a bit more. Miles just praying for a chance right now. I think he's got the cross double here. I don't see the value in dribbling it in the middle because you've not really got an easy black. I think you have to play the cross double. Treble.
He hasn't, has he? No.
No. He's not left Miles easy again though. I think he has to play a double. There is a big pocket down there, but he can't really get the other red easy. So he could play a cross double on either right now, but it's just all personal preference now. Because he's got the big pocket, I think that's why he's playing the cross double this way. Oh, he's gone for the cut, overcut it.
Oh, and that will be the frame.
Yeah. I do feel for Miles now.
It's been really tough for him.
Yeah.
Really tough. Five zip then to Mark Pickworth. He is one away from taking the victory in this one. He's had to work so hard for it. Miles Deleuze has toiled throughout several of these frames. As we head into the break, Mark Pickworth is one away from the final hit.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing. The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
Welcome back to Solihull. This is the scene, IPA Freesports Champions Cup action. Miles Loose taking on Mark Pickworth. Stephen Jameson, Aiden Finch with you on the commentary. Mark Pickworth is one away, Miles Loose fighting for his place in the tournament.
That is exactly what you don't want, because you know it's your fault when you've potted it in the middle. I did it in my match. It's a horrible, horrible feeling.
And the way Miles has sat down there, I think, tells a story. You can just watch the white there, straight into the middle pocket. And it's exactly what you said, Aiden. You're very honest about mentioning that you did it in your semi-final as well. As soon as it goes straight in, you know that's just a technical error and nothing else.
Yep.
Of course you can be unlucky going in off, but...
Yeah, when it goes in like that, at this level, you know it's your fault. There's no excuses.
And the worst part of it is, I think, for Miles, is it's his best break so far in terms of spread.
Yeah.
Really got into them. And
made
there
a ball.
You see his reaction.
Yep, made a couple of balls. And now Mark's going to take the yellows that Miles would have done. And he's just put the red save first shot. Take the yellow away from this end. And then you sort of work down table. Just depends on what way he wants to do it. But you'd have to say this looks like 6-0 now.
Yeah, every ball has a pocket. There's no real problem ball or area particularly. Just has to be confident and pick these off really, which he's done really well throughout this semi-final. He's been excellent, Mark Pickworth. In fairness, he's had to work very hard. Miles Loose has had difficult chances, but has been in several frames. There's been quite a few tactical battles, which Miles has just come out the other end of on the wrong side.
Yeah, Mark's been very patient. That's unlucky. He's just tried to screw into the black there to hold, and he's just gone past it.
I wonder if he snookered on the ball down the rail by the jaw of the middle pocket. I think he might be.
I think he has to play a cross double now. If he can pot that one, I think he looks like he can actually. Well, he's still got a chance here then, Mark.
He's got away with that. 1 millimetre further.
This is tricky though, because you have to sort of bang this in the middle to bring the white over, because I think the yellow only goes in the right corner, so you might have to just dribble this in, then play the yellow off the red, little trickle off the red to go into the other corner, because I don't think he's got anything else, to be honest.
Extension called.
He's looking to bring the white really far down table. I'm not quite sure he's going to do that. He's going for it in the corner. Unlucky.
Doesn't get the pot. And it all stemmed from the loose positional shot he played a couple of shots ago when he didn't screw into the black.
Yeah.
And how often do we see it? That one bad positional shot comes back to haunt you in a couple of shots' time.
I think now Miles he knows that this is it. He has to clear up. The red goes past the yellow into the corner, so he plays on that next, drops the one in the middle. Then he has the red into those top left corner as you look now, or bottom left as you look now. And then he has choices of reds into the other corner after that. Just want to take your time here a little bit now. I know it sounds silly with a 45-second shot clock, but you just have to make sure this is to stay in the tournament.
Well, he almost couldn't wish, after all the difficulties that he's had in this match and all the things that have gone against him, he couldn't wish for a simpler clean-up. And he'll be telling himself that. This has to go. This is your chance. This has to go.
Yeah, I think he's just a bit close to the rail here. He wanted to be a little bit further out, because I think the right-hand side one is the only red that goes in that corner. He's played that nicely.
cued that really well, and you can see by the way he raced around the other side
Yeah.
of the table. He was pleased with that. This is now routine.
Yeah. I'm pleased for Miles here as well, because he's tried so hard, but nothing's really come off for him.
6-0 would have been cruel in a way.
Yeah.
And Miles to lose does extend the game. He does get one on the board. And he'll just be so pleased not to end on going in off his own break for a 6-0. No worse way to go, I'm sure. Just a reminder of who has qualified for the second round so far. There's some star names in that one, few world champions as well. Who's most impressed you so far there, Aiden? I know you've been watching a lot of the coverage. Who's most impressed you so far?
Well, the first 4 weeks were all impressive. I thought Ronan was very good. Mark Farnsworth just does what Mark Farnsworth does. Craig Marsh was flowing. Christian Phillips, he looked in control pretty much the whole time. Jason Remington got through, beat Sheppy. Lee Warren, obviously, you know, he had a great week.
That was.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's the beauty of this format and the tournament. You know, everyone has a chance, you know. Sometimes it goes for you, sometimes it goes against you, but you've got the chance. It's just up to you to take it.
Yeah, Lee Warren, for those of you who don't know, was a Riley's qualifier into this event and ended up taking the win in week number 6 over Luke Sanchez, Andy Blurton and Phil Parkin. Tremendous performance from Lee. Can't wait to watch him in the second round. And maybe the tide just turning in our second semi-final here, because Mark's gone dry off the break and he's got a pretty good spread. Miles maybe with a chance to get a second frame on the board.
I mean, that interval could be crucial, because Mark was 5-0 and, you know, very comfortable. Looked like being 6-0, but the interval, the break, might not have done him any favours. So now Miles has had a little bit of time to compose himself, won the next frame, got a chance in this one. You just never know. He's unlucky to get a double kiss there.
Cued that beautifully.
That red
Raced
at the
back
other
with
end
the
of the
screen.
table goes past the middle. Goes past the yellow in the corner. So he'll be wary of that right now, especially after that double kiss. Yeah, because I think he tried to top through to knock that red off again, then use that red to get down to the other one, and then try and work down table for the clearance.
Yeah, just tried to force the angle into the side of the pocket.
This isn't easy for Mark though. He's queuing over this red. Never easy. Very hard to gauge when you're not looking down your queue like you normally would do. He's just blocked that red, because that red did go past the yellow. It was very clever there from Mark. Every time just trying to buy himself a shot.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. Just sticking in there. It's really worked for him so far.
He's been very good at it, very good at it. I think he's trying to play the yellow off the cushion to flick the yellow away and try and push the red towards the corner. No. Just bring it out. Over to you, Mark, one of those. If you can clear up, good luck to you.
Oh, it's not. It's perhaps not out the question. It's certainly not as difficult as it was a couple of shots ago.
No, Mark can clear these. It's just all about keeping a good cue ball now. Play this one in the corner, then the yellow goes in the middle, which he might just flick the other yellow so that goes in the corner. Yeah, I think that's why his reaction is the way it is, because he's a bit straight. He wanted to be just a bit high so he could cut that one into the middle and just flick the other yellow down so that went in the corner. then it would have made the clearance a lot more easier than it is now, because he's probably going to have to leave that last with all the other balls down that end of the table. Unless he can get back on this by punching it in. Yes, he's freed it now. So now he is going to leave it last.
These all go now. It's a much tougher shot than that first looked.
I think the key shot is going to be the one near the side cushion, screwing back to get onto the yellow he's just freed. Because you'll go left corner, right corner, screw that back, try and leave yourself as close and as straight as possible into that corner there, draw it back, and then just drop the yellow in, and the black goes in 4 pockets, maybe 3 pockets, yeah.
Here's his chance.
Played that nicely. Look at that. Just that's actually perfect, because you've got the slight angle to bump it off the cushion, bring it down table, and this white can go pretty much anywhere, because you're not going to snook yourself behind the red. Played very nicely again. You just got to pick your spot now. That's where I want it. I've got to play it. Black in the top corner for the match.
After 6 frames, it all comes down to this for Mark Pickworth. Black for the match.
No.
Oh, he's jawed it. And I tell you what, it wasn't too close, you know, he's missed that by quite a way.
That was the first one that he hasn't cued hard in that scenario. All the other ones he sort of banged them in and looked very confident. This one he just sort of rolled. And
It was almost as if the weight of the shot just weighed on him a second.
yeah. Earlier in the match he's banged quite a few of those in with great confidence. And that will give Miles confidence now.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's got nothing to lose.
Is that a pun? Pun intended? Or
It genuinely wasn't. I'd like to apologise to any of the Deleuze family watching. I'm sure they get that quite a bit.
oh,
It's unlucky.
he just wanted to come inside that red to bring the red middle table. He's a little bit despondent, but he knows he's still got a chance of a clearance here. I think he might even try and play this one down the rail now, because the white should snooker the black if it goes to the side, other side rail. I think that's why he's playing it this way, but you have to play this at the right pace, because if you miss it, you leave the black. And that's exactly what's happened. I think he might have been better off there, potting one in the middle, then coming down for the red, and then try and knock it off the cushion with that one. And then if that doesn't work, then you still always have a cross double.
Take 2.
Oh,
Well,
I thought it was going in the middle for a minute off the red. Drama.
the first one was a bit of a sloppy one and a bit of a nervous one. The second is, well, has a few less excuses for Mark Pickworth. That's a bad miss.
I think he
Somebody who's played
just,
so well. You can't believe it.
I think he just tried to play that one confident, whereas the previous one he didn't. So I think he's like, come on, Mark. And then, but then I thought he was going to knock it off the red in the middle.
Call.
Well, he did have a quite spectacular fluke in the first frame, but that would have taken the cake, I think.
Just got to be careful here. Yeah, he's played that well. Little bit of travelling with the white, but shouldn't be a problem. Drop this in. Might even bump that red, is it? No, he's come around the back. Yeah, I was surprised he played it that way, but he's still got a clearance. A little bit aside. This is massive now from being out of the tournament to, you know, just chipping away. You just never know. You just never know in this game. Oh, I was going to pop
that nearly
out.
jumps out at him. I don't think he's great on this black either, but he's got straight down on it, no messing about.
And then it goes.
And in it goes. The game goes on. Mark Pickworth misses not one but two match balls. Will that come back to haunt him? This would be some comeback.
Well, that will give Miles confidence now, even though he hasn't taken out the chances in first visit like he would like to. He knows that Mark's missed a couple of opportunities for the match, and you know this game can turn with decent players. Pool match can turn at any stage. Just takes one missed ball, you cue in a good ball. So many variables.
Miles Deleuze heads up to 5-2 and has the break. If he gets into the balls like he did on his last one, he's got every chance. He just needs to not pot the white.
Yeah, he got up a little bit from that break, which is why I think it went into the middle. I think he'll be conscious of that this time.
Connection with the pack was so much better than it's been.
Yeah.
8th frame, Miles Deleuze to break, trailing 2 racks to 5. Time running.
Good break.
He's got a couple.
Made 2 balls. Yellows look favourite.
Well, yellows look remarkably preferable.
Definitely.
They
You
almost
have
look
to
like
go
a
yellows
training
there.
exercise.
Yep, they all go. Not sure on the angle he's got here, but he might have to run this through. Yep. Yellow goes in the corner. Just has to be a bit careful here because he is quite straight. That's why I think he's looked to see if this one goes into the corner. So if he can play that, there's a quite big area there on the left-hand side that he can stay on that. What yellow is nearest to in the middle. Always hit it thin. I think that was just this right-hand side he used on the ball. Just caught the ball a bit thinner than intended.
That's the face of frustration. And this is why the reds are there for Mark. They're a little bit more difficult than the yellows, but everyone has a pocket.
Yeah, 3 near the side rail. Try and get this one out now. Come over, get the other one out. Then probably take the other 2 reds near the baulk line and then leave the one down the rail last. Want to knock it out, good shot.
Yeah, time out. Time out, please.
I think he's just asked for the red to be cleaned. Taking absolutely no chances.
Yeah, pivotal moment.
Time running.
If Mark does clear these from this visit, fair play. If he doesn't, then you'd fancy Miles to win the frame. And Mark knows it as well, so. Played it well. He's got an option now, he can just come over to the left-hand side, and then you've got a choice of 2 reds, as long as you don't go in off in the middle. Played that nicely.
Played it really nicely, hasn't he?
Nodded the head from Miles as well. You know how well that was played. So he's probably going to go 2 down the cushion. The red, I think, goes in the bottom right. If not, it goes in the top right. Oh no! Oh,
Wiped its feet.
Certainly did.
You can see Miles just, I think he thought that had missed.
Yeah, well, it's hit that far up the cushion. I didn't expect that to go. And again.
Played that at just about the right weight that it was always going to drop.
It does go past.
It's a big pocket, this. Because that yellow. See there here, Mark, he said they're on edge. Just wants to make sure.
Yep, and it goes. No mistakes from here.
And after missing 2 match balls in the last frame, surely not.
Now this is all over. Well played, Mark.
Mark Pickworth takes the win. Really hard fought win over Miles Deleuze. The two of them enjoy a laugh and a joke, which is nice to see. But a terrific win for Mark Pickworth, who advances through to our final this evening to play Jimmy Carney.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing. The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
A very warm welcome back to Solihull IPA Freesports Champions Cup with Mark Pickworth, winner of our second semi-final. You made hard work of it in the end, Mark, but you seem to play really well out there.
Yeah, I had sort of patches at the start. I was sort of pleased with the way I sort of played, but when it got down to the end, I just felt it a little bit. You know, TV cameras are on. It's going to be a bit of pressure, isn't there?
Well, that's what we thought, but you started the match like a house on fire. It was as if you've never been away. I know you mentioned to be off camera a bit before that you hadn't been playing much. Were you pleasantly surprised by how you approached tonight?
Yeah, I was really. Obviously, just had a couple of months out, but you know, sometimes a fresh start does you good. So yeah, good.
How much are you looking forward to the final?
Tell you what, I'm really looking forward to it now. I've got that one out of the way. It's always hard to win your first match, but definitely looking forward to playing Jimmy.
We wish you all the very best luck.
Thank you.
And let's remind ourselves of how Mark got there. Here we go then. It is time for our final. This is what we've witnessed so far. 2 6-2s, both very, very different games. So Jimmy Carney and Mark Pickworth make up tonight's final in Group 13 of the IPA Freesports Champions Cup. Well, a reminder of what we have to look forward to in the Champions Cup. We've still got 3 weeks of action. We'll take in 3 more wonderful weeks of pool. We're in Sheffield next week and then up to Scotland for a couple of weeks as well. And then after that, it's last 16 time. Mark Farnsworth takes on Christian Phillips. Simon Ward is still awaiting his opponent, as is Drew Hughes. The rest of our players all have their matches lined up. Brenda Mccarthy versus John Mcallister should be a belter. Lee Warren and Jason Rimington, a qualifier against the non-seed. Dave Nadnall takes on Toby Bolt, who won last week, and Jack Whelan takes on Craig Marsh. And if both of them bring their A game, that will be a heck of a match as well. And the winner of this match between Jimmy and Mark will go into the slot between Drew and Ronan. So no need to worry, Simon or Drew. Your opponent won't be revealed to you just yet. But those last 16 spots are filling up rather nicely.
This evening's final, Jimmy Carney versus Mark Pickworth in a race of 6. All the best, gentlemen.
There we go, handshake between the two. Jimmy Carney versus Mark Pickworth. Kev Barton back with me on the commentary. Kev, I know you were giving Mark a predictably hard time after that game. How pleased are you to see him in the final? I know obviously a very good friend of yours, and he'll be so pleased to get over the line, I know.
Yeah, absolutely delighted for Mark. He hasn't played much in the last few months, and obviously working hard behind the scenes here at the IPA. He doesn't get a lot of time to practice. I know he's very busy at work and what have you. So yeah, absolutely over the moon for him to get through to the final. He is going to have to up his game, I think, to beat Jimmy. Jimmy's looked quite impressive tonight in his victory over Aiden Finch. And yeah, but Mark's one of those players. He never knows when he's beaten. He's a real terrier. So he's more than capable of winning this match. I think I was watching from the side during his semi-final victory. I think he really needs to improve his break. It looked didn't quite look at the races on the break, and but you know, it can soon turn around in this game. But I think the break could be key for him. He needs to give himself those opportunities.
Well, you mentioned that, and the face says it all. Mark Pickworth, that's not the start he was after.
Yeah, and you know, just look at the spread of the balls. I mean, they've hardly moved, and yeah, it's certainly something that he would like to improve on. I think such a big shot in black ball, of course, and you can't afford to just be giving your opponent first chances every frame.
Jimmy will have been watching that second semi-final with interest. Had to wait quite a while, and his felt like his semi-final was over in no time at all, really. And maybe that excuses the miss on the red.
I think, to be fair to Jimmy, I think he was just trying to cover the bag there, just to take control of the frame. A couple of reds tied up there with no obvious way to release them. Those two reds in the middle of the pack there. So I think just trying to get some control early on in this frame.
Time out. Time running. Time out. Total snooker call. Time running.
Total snooker called. It's a clever little shot that from Mark.
He's judged that well. One thing Mark's going to do is that if Jimmy's wants to win this match, he's going to have to earn it. He's not going to just go for, you know, some crazy shot selection. He's going to fight in every step of the way.
Well, the yellow goes in. You won't be too upset about that either way, really. As he has knocked the red free of the pocket. He has got an option. Again, looks to snooker Jimmy.
So what Mark's doing here is developing his yellows, or trying to develop his yellows, whilst keeping the white as safe as he can, and leave Jimmy very little to go at.
Time out.
If he can just loosen some of those yellows, then it gives him the opportunity, maybe in a 2 or 3 shots time, to play the attacking option and look to go for the finish.
Jimmy just peek through and see that red. And the yellow's just starting to emerge from Mark here, where they weren't originally. He's got the big problem, of course, which is the yellow and the red tied together at the top of the table.
Time out. Frozen yellow. Time running.
I think if he'd have had more of an angle on this one into the centre, I think he might have been tempted to pot it and try and disturb that yellow and red just here. But it looks a little bit too straight on this one into the centre.
Containing shot.
Yeah, not quite sure about that shot. What he was obviously trying to keep the white safe, but really achieve too much with that shot.
Well, after a safety-heavy battle in his semi-final, Pickworth is at it again in the first frame of the final, dragging it down into the trenches. It's where I feel that he thinks he's at home in a frame like this. Never feel like he's fully out of it.
So I think where those two yellows are up in the top left-hand corner, that really gives Jimmy quite a big of an advantage. So I think he's just going to look to get his bad red out now. There's that white going. Another half centimetre of turn there, and that white was in.
These are the margins.
Now, has he got angle on this one into the corner? Yeah, I think he has. So he can look to pot this one in the top right-hand corner and just try and cannon into that little cluster of two balls. No, didn't go.
Oh, I think he wanted to just have that yellow.
I thought he may have just tried to, if that yellow didn't go, I thought he may have just tried to nudge it over the bag. But, he saw something different. He saw the putting the one into the middle, off the red, but pretty adventurous.
Oh, this could be a chance for Jimmy Carney.
Yeah, straight away taking the attacking option there. Now he's just going to develop that yellow. Now that he's got control, develop his red. Now that he's got control of that top left-hand corner. But as we know in black ball, Mark's now going to be looking for any opportunity to play some sort of skill shot. I think he's fouled.
One free shot, one visit.
Yes, indeed. Oh, big chance now then for Jimmy.
Time out.
Careless there from Mark. Didn't reach the cushion.
Time running.
Still not straightforward for Jimmy, despite having the free visit. He's got this cluster here that he's going to need to develop.
Yeah, just to the right of the table, on the right rail.
So what he's going to be looking at is getting position. Looking to get position onto this red here, so that he can try and kiss the white into this cluster here. And then the frame will be really open for him. He's a little bit short with that one. So what he may have to look at doing now is to pop this one into the corner and to bring the white in that direction to try and disturb them. He's got quite a big area to aim for. Just needs a little bit of luck as to how they come out.
Oh, doesn't get it.
Yeah, I think he just had a little trace of left-hand side on that one, and I think he just had a little bit too much, which made the white ball skid a little bit further across. on this bottom rail created a wider angle, hence he missed that fairly big area to disturb the red and yellow.
So it's a safety. Maybe Mark Pickworth has a way back into the frame. Rueful shake of the head from Jimmy Carney.
Maybe that gap that he's had for the last hour and a half, maybe that is having a little impact. Not quite got his arm free just yet.
We're still waiting for the first number to appear on our scoreboard. It remains 0-0.
So that's a good shot from Jimmy. He's almost leaving himself a similar shot to last time, to look to pop that one into the corner to develop that cluster. So Mark's got to keep this quite tight now. Try and block off that option. It's not quite got there. So it's another chance for Jimmy. When you're playing these shots, it's so important to get the right pace on these shots. If you hit them too hard, or just get a little trace of side on, the white can go in completely in the wrong place.
Oh, he's unlucky.
Again, he just didn't quite get it right. Again, it's just a little bit too wide. If he could have aimed to hit sort of the thinner part of the pocket, so to pop the red as thin as he could, he would have had a better angle. But this looks a fantastic shot.
Oh,
what a superb
shot
shot there from Jimmy Carney.
What a shot that is.
This has got to be one of the shots of the championship. What a great shot. How he's arced to that white ball around there. And to get the side, superb shot.
Yeah, that's got to go down. Certainly is one of the positional shots of the tournament so far. In the context of winning that first frame, that's a belter from Jimmy Carney. Absolutely brilliant. And a reminder that he's on a bit of a warpath this year in 2018. He had a good run to the World Championship quarterfinals, final of the Welsh Professional, and quarters in the Scottish Open as well. He's on something of a run, and he'd love to get through in the Champions Cup as well, just to continue the form he's on, really.
Yeah, he's hit a rich vein of form this year. And, you know, last 16 of the Scottish Professional quarters of the Scottish Open on the back of a great performance at the World Championships. So, yep, he's in fine form, and certainly on paper the favourite for tonight. But as we've said, Mark Pickworth, very dogged character. He's going to make him work for every frame. So Jimmy took that one against the break as well, so it'll be his break next. So he'll be looking to
second frame, Jimmy Carney the break, leading 1-0.
ram home that advantage.
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago that Mark Pickworth had the first break of the match. It was about a 13-minute opening frame. But Jimmy didn't break particularly well even against Aiden Finch in his semi-final. Probably the weakest part of his overall game. And he's come up dry again here. A bit more open than Mark's were, admittedly.
Yeah, neither player is probably you know, in the top end of breaking speeds. So they're never going to get the same sort of splits as a Ben Davis or a Craig Marsh. It's a nice opening pot there from Mark Pickworth. Mark just surveying the table. Obviously, he's got the yellow that's just near this red on the bottom rail. But if he gets the right position on the one into the centre, he can develop that, and he can probably do it in 2 shots' time.
He played that shot almost perfectly. I think he just put a little bit more pace on it, just to nudge the yellow out a little bit further.
Never seen Mark Pickworth in super slow-mo before.
Oh, he's all right to the top cushion. That's played nicely. Into the top pocket.
So I think it's all about this shot. Just to punch onto that red, knock the yellow down, and make sure the white is released so he's got a pot into the corner.
It's not easy, but he's got something.
Yeah, just didn't quite judge the contact correctly there. He's going to have to go to plan B, which I think will be to pot this one into the bottom left corner. He can either try and nudge the yellow off the rail or play position on it, but yeah, he's going for the double. Yeah, he's got the right angle there, looking at that overhead.
Oh, played it nicely as well.
So what I think, if he's got the angle, he's just going to try and pot this and nudge the white onto the black to push it past the red. It just didn't quite get there. So he's got a double on the black, I think. Always tricky into the corner bags.
Yeah, a little bit less forgiving, aren't they?
Yeah, just wanted to catch that black a little bit thinner. Got a great view there. And I think it's just in the jaws.
Oh, it was close. It was close.
Probably looked into Mark where he was. But unfortunately, he's just left these reds in a great position for Jimmy.
Well, this is a practice session now for Jimmy Carney, isn't it?
Well, if he was in the club, definitely.
Always a different experience when you're live on the telly. He did say that actually in his just before his interview or during his interview with myself earlier. Got so much easier after he'd won a few frames and got a bit settled. The first few, he happily admitted, were all of a sudden it just hit him. He wasn't very nervous, but he's settled into this now, I think.
Yeah, I think that was the problem in the last match for Miles, he just couldn't get that frame on the board to get settled in the match. And you know, when he did, he was 5-0 down, and you know, the writing was pretty much on the wall by then. You know, he won a couple of frames, but it's so important to get that first frame on the board, particularly in these, you know, quick races to 6. Can't see anything to get in the way of Jimmy securing the second frame here. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, routine finish this for Jimmy Carney. It'll be 2-1.
Frame, Jimmy Carney.
Nicely done. And Mark had his chances, but he couldn't quite get over the line. We mentioned he's not been at the first two tour events of the year due to taking a little bit of time away. And we do see that he's more than capable of having a good run, decent runs to the last 16 of the British Professional. He's beaten by Clint Jansen, who we'll see next week, of course, on the Champions Cup circuit. But, competed in the Worlds, and was soundly beaten by Brian Halcrow there.
Yeah, to be fair to him, he was doing a lot of work at the Worlds behind the scenes.
He was indeed, yeah.
And,
we'll let him off there.
You know, no surprise there. But yeah, he's one of those players. Is Mark? He's very deceiving. He's a very talented player. You know, I've played Mark a couple of times, and you know, I've seen firsthand he is a very good player. And you know, unfortunately, you know, unfortunately for the IPA, he's doing a lot of work for us. Unfortunately for him, you know, it does have an impact on your practice time, and you know, when you're at the events, you can't really relax because you're busy doing X, Y, and Z. So you know, the fact that he's here competing in a final is you know, tremendous achievement.
And he's made a ball with his second break. He's at the table, he's got a chance.
He slightly changed his break a little bit there, got a lot better contact, and gives him a chance to attack in the early stages of this frame. Obviously got one red to develop, which I think he's going to try and do now. Plenty of pace on that.
Yeah, he made sure of that, didn't he? Yeah, knocked the yellow in as well. Of course, doesn't matter. It goes down as a skill shot.
So I think he can take the one into the left middle here and probably play a little bit of right hand side on this. Oh, it just needed a little bit more pace. He would have preferred to have kissed the red near the black. You can see the right hand side there. If he could have kissed the one near the black, he would have been perfect on the red that's nearest to the white now. But it looks like he's got a shot. Oh, he's cued that well.
Stop, he tells it.
He's cued that really well. For somebody who doesn't play much, that was a tremendous shot. Not only did he get the pot, but controlled the positional side to within a millimetre or so.
Here we go, first frame should go the way here for Mark Pickworth. He gets it, and he's on the boards, 2-1. And he cleaned those up very nicely. Nice little break and dish for him.
That is absolute typical Mark Pickworth, and just pulls out those finishes just when you least expect it. Great clearance there.
And this is what we've got to look forward to next week. We had a little bit of a chat with Aiden about this, but I'd love to get your thoughts as well, Kev. Really look forward to seeing Clint in the competition. You have to wait a while, but we're looking forward to seeing him go.
Yeah, Clint, one of the elite players of Black Ball Pool, and yeah, he's certainly on paper the favourite. But I tell you what, that is a tough group next week. Craig Brown, one of the new pros this year, very good player, very attacking player. So he's going to give Clint a run for his money there. And Gav Robinson, he's from the northeast as well, and he's going to be up against Jamie Clark, and those two players, and more than capable of winning next week. Really tough group next week. Should be a cracker next week, definitely.
Yeah, looking forward to that in Sheffield. Our final English round of the Champions Cup first rounds. 2 weeks up in Scotland follow that, and Jimmy Carney has broke dry there the second time. He's break giving him a bit of grief, I think.
Yeah, what you can't do is keep giving opportunities to your opponent, and he's 2 out of 2 for dry breaks. It'll be interesting to see if he changes his break again. He did in the semi-final when he was dry on his first break. He immediately changed it from the side cut break to just hitting it full on. So will he go back to the cut break?
He got a decent spread of the balls at least. It wasn't a complete bust in terms of his break. He's got that almost for him. Mark's left himself without a shot here. He's got one up towards the top of the table, but I don't think that's really where he wanted to be. Rattled the pot in. That's what he should have done to those two blacks in the penultimate frame of his semi.
Yeah, I think he may have the angle here to pop this one into the corner and bring the white across and just try and disturb that red and yellow better together just at the top side of the centre bag. Just didn't quite hit it hard enough. So now he's, I think this red will put into that corner bag. So he's just got to work out how he's, in which order he's going to take these. I can pop the one into the corner. I didn't think he could see that one. So will that red pot off the yellow? I think it will, and free the red up into the middle bag.
Yeah, a bit of a billiard shot, played it nicely.
Where does the black go? I'm not sure that goes.
Just wondering the exact same thing. I think if he comes below it, he's got the option of going up to the top of the table, but he's not going to do that.
Does it go?
Looks like bottom left. Squeezes
Flies in.
Beautifully done, even put it in the difficult side of the pocket for good measure. Mark Pickworth evens things up at 2 apiece. He's 1-2 on the spin. We did see Jimmy Carney do exactly the same thing as this in his semi-final. We'll be getting a sense of deja vu, I feel, as we remind ourselves of the company these men are looking to join in the Champions Cup second rounds. There are some all-star names, there are some non-all-star names as well, which is what this competition's all about.
Yes, we're into week 13 of 16 of the qualifiers, so just 3 more weeks to go, and still some big names to come into the competition. We mentioned Clint, and we've got the likes of Liam Dunster and Mark Boyle, and all the Scottish contingent who are still to make their debuts in the event. So yeah, it's a great lineup, and we're really looking forward to week 17 when the action really cranks up a lot.
Yeah, I mentioned that with Aiden
Mark
actually.
Pickworth to break. The
I
score
think the
tied at
first
2
16,
each.
or as it stands on it, first 13 weeks have been good. Wait for week 17 to 20. Oh.
That's a great break there from Mark.
I don't know what he's changed necessarily his break, but the last 2 that he's put in have been fantastic.
Yeah, superb split there. So I think he'll be looking for reds, but obviously he's still got a little bit of work to do. But he's really putting confidently and crisply here. It's great to see.
Well, he did seem excited in his interview on a genuine level. When I asked him if he was looking forward to the final, he just seemed excited to be there. A little bit less pressure maybe than on himself compared to Jimmy.
So what he's going to be looking at is this red here, and he's going to look to put that into the centre and then take the white down into this cluster just to disturb that red and yellow, and the frame is at his mercy.
Well,
He's
might have to plot us a new route here, Kev, because I think he's gone the other way.
yeah, and the thing is now, what he's done is this yellow here is blocking the path of this red into this centre bag. So what he needs to be really careful here is when he puts this one into the centre and disturbs this one, that he leaves himself a pot, and that is the danger. So if he'd have played the positional shot down this right-hand side of the table as I suggested, he would have avoided nudging that yellow, and would have been in a better position. So now he's left himself a really tricky shot.
Yeah, he's still got a pot, but goodness me, it's tough.
It looks good.
Oh,
That's a
good shot, that is.
superb shot from Mark Pickworth.
Potted his way out of trouble. Second one goes in as well. I'll tell you what, it was noticeable actually in semi-final. His long potting was superb.
I think he's been having some secret practice. I think we need to give him more jobs to do.
I think he's been selling his all dummy. He said that though, he's not ideal on that black.
Yeah, he's undercooked that one. I'm not sure he can clip that one back into the middle. Oh, maybe he can. He's obviously got a double, of course, but I think he can clip that into the left middle.
Nope, that's not going to reach.
He's a bit unlucky there. He was just 6 or 8 inches short with the positional shot. It was on the right lines, just slightly under hit it. Left himself a mega thin one into the centre bag, but Jimmy's still got work to do here. But again, he has got options. So I think either of those two yellows he can pot to try and disturb this yellow on the side cushion. He's a little bit straight on the left-hand one. He needs to again make sure he leaves himself a pot
Shot. slightly awkward angle maybe on this bottom yellow, but yeah, he's actually going to take the top one first.
This is not easy. Oh, great shot. Right into the middle of the pocket.
Couldn't play that better. It looked like Mark Pickworth was going to make it 3-2. But now it is to Jimmy Carney. He's just about got enough length on that. This is a far easier black than Mark left himself, and it is 3-2 Jimmy Carney. Well, could have gone either way. It has been a very, very close match so far. Been a great watch. It's Jimmy Carney who has the advantage. And we will see the conclusion of this final after the break.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
Sixth frame, Jimmy Carney to break, leading 3 racks to 2. Time running.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
And a very warm welcome back. Just as we see a foul from Mark Pickworth, the action has been continuing
One free shot, one visit,
on Freesports.
done running.
And see the in-off there from Mark. The original break from Jimmy Carney was dry. That's why we see a bit of a spread table, bit of a mix, bit of a tactical battle. It's always a tactical battle when Mark's involved, but that's a clever little shot.
Yeah, he wasn't really bothered about the pop. He was just trying to develop those yellows. It mattered whether it went in or not, to be honest. So Jimmy's just got to manoeuvre that white ball around this bottom right hand corner, just to probably somehow try and nudge that red that's between those two yellows, just so that to make his work nice and easy. He doesn't want that on the cushion. It's a little bit careless there from Jimmy. Maybe tempted to play a safety shot, but no, he's just going to look to play the clip. So if he's playing the clip, he's going to have to play at pace. So he's going to be trusting to look a little bit where those yellows end up. I think he might just roll onto this yellow that's over the pocket. Just running out of time. So just played a little developing safety shot there, just to free up his yellows, put the pressure on Mark. This looks a good line if he can avoid the in-off. Oh, he was looking to hide that white ball behind that red in the top left-hand corner.
Oh.
It wasn't that bad, Jimmy.
He's acting like he's gone off the break there. I mean, it could have come out nicer for him, but I think that's just a general reaction to how this final's just gone for him. It's just not been easy.
Yeah, so he's looking to try and play the yellow in off the red into the right centre. It's a tricky shot.
Extension, please. Thank you.
It's a horrible shot, isn't it? Really difficult to judge. I'm actually not playing that by the look of it. Or is he?
Yeah, I think he's going to. I don't think he's got much option. He could play a little safety shot. Just bounce this yellow that's nearest the right corner pocket, just in front of the red. It's on the side rail. Oh, he's going top left, I think. Oh, this looks a great shot.
That's some recovery.
Fantastic shot there from Jimmy Carney.
He's had to play a couple of those.
Just shows what great form he's in to play that shot. That's a superb shot.
Should be pretty routine from here. Just making sure it plants.
I think he would have liked to have been an inch lower on this one. Yeah, and I'm just going to say, the way he was lining that up, that yellow was always going to squeeze upwards. If he'd have left himself an inch lower, he would have had a better angle to bring the white higher up the table and then he would have been able to put that yellow easy into the bottom left-hand corner. So he's made a bit of a meal of that one, to be honest.
Yeah, and he can't double across. Can he triple it?
He's going for a mega thin clip.
Foul.
I think it was a foul.
Yeah, foul called.
One visit.
Might be a shot and a visit.
Yeah, he was going for. I mean, it was asking a lot there with the thin clip. I mean, I think the treble may have probably been the better option. That's a clever little shot there from Mark. Just developing his red off of Jimmy's yellow. So he's got the frame at his mercy now to make this 3-all. Needs to just be wary of the time. He's used his extension for this frame.
Oh, as you run out.
I think he's okay. Just that little puff of the cheeks just tells me that he can get this. Where's he sent that white ball? He's had a bit of an adrenaline rush there because he's overhit that by quite some way.
It's not an easy stab down the rail.
Extension called.
He's used his. He's been given an extension, but he thought he'd already used it.
You see, it wasn't an easy stab at all. Tough shot, that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a strange one for me, that, because I think he's left Jimmy the double, which he was always going to do. So why not take the red that's nearest Jimmy's hand, and try and get better position on the red that he played. Looks good. Yeah, that's a great double.
Yeah, great shot from Jimmy Carney. Steely focus. Oh, that one liked its feet. Gives the red at the top of the table a bit of a disdainful flick down the table, a little smile to himself. Oh, that black was almost unmissable, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just off straight, the black, and he's hit it straight, and he's used every millimetre of that pocket. Anyway, it's in.
If he'd have hit that a fraction harder, that was missing. And reminder of what we've already seen on the Champions Cup circuit. These are all of our finals. We've seen some fantastic matches over the course of these finals. Look like we're in for another one as well. We've had everything from 6-0s from Mark Farnsworth, Brenda Mccarthy and Simon Ward, to some real humdingers. Gareth Hibbert, David Adenor was a great final. So too last week, of course. Bolt versus Davis. We've had some great games.
Yeah, the world champion taken out by the qualifier Toby Bolt, and great performance from Toby, even though he wasn't sure he played that well, but I can assure him that he did. So you just never know what this competition's going to throw up week on week. Wow, he's got that white ball jumping everywhere.
Yeah, that white nearly came to meet us in the commentary box, I think. Wow, flew off the side cushion.
think a little bit of frustration in that break after that last frame. He's going to need his extension. He's almost down to 10 seconds.
Extension called.
You see the white off the break.
It's bounced off the side rail, hit the bottom rail, and bounced back on the table.
It got some serious hang time. Amazed it actually stayed on the table, to be honest with you. And you see, just see the reaction of Marcus Russell. Totally unsure what to make of it. It's a crunching pot at the top of the table. He's pulled out a few of those tonight up to the top pockets. Really rammed them in.
He's played very well as Mark, very well. He's put some superb pots, and you know the countdown was on that shot. You know, a few seconds left. It wasn't an easy shot, and he just slotted it in. He's not got much to go at there. He's obviously got the long pot into the corner, and then he's got the yellow that's near the top right corner as we look. But these three at the bottom need some pretty pinpoint positional play. He would have liked to have been on the one on the bottom on this shot. Again, that time is counting down. Just reflects the difficulty of his situation, that every shot he's getting down to the last 10 seconds. So Jimmy looks like he's playing this off the yellow. Oh, he's played that really well. Those shots are not easy, and he's played that absolutely perfectly. Played it off the yellow, which frees up that red into the top corner. So now he's got this frame at his mercy. Still got to manoeuvre this white ball. It's still not straightforward. Just going to play that with a little bit of left-hand side, just to check the white back and avoid it cannoning into that yellow near the bottom rail.
He's just taking a look at the angle of the double, I think, on that red on the side rail.
I think he might be looking to pop this one into the bottom and disturb it.
Done that. I think it'll now go into the middle pocket quite simply. And of course, a little bit more easily down into the bottom.
Yeah, this is the big shot of this frame. This the top one as we look on screen into that top right hand corner. He's overcut that by a mile.
Just wonder if he's thinking about white ball there. So obviously he's got a perfect white for his next shot, but he's missed that pot by a mile.
Yeah, he's played that with a trace of right hand side, and he's just misjudged the shot. Oh, that's a great shot there from Mark. Just cannon into those two yellows that were stuck together. That's a great shot. And quick as a flash, it's turned round from potential 5-2 to Carney. Now it could be 4-3. And all to play for. He's judged this well. Lots of left-hand side. Played it perfectly. He's zipping that white ball around. Lots and more left-hand side.
He's showing off now.
He means business tonight.
it's only going to come more naturally to him the more he plays on the table. As we mentioned, he's not played a lot over the last few months at all.
But you wouldn't have thought so, the way he's been putting these. He looks to be playing really confidently.
It should be 4-3. It is.
That's a tremendous clearance there from Mark Pickworth. He's one of these, you're going to have to scrape him off the table.
He's potted more balls, which is a great stat for him to have. But he's also missed some pots as well, which has given Jimmy the openings.
Yeah, we can see in those middle sections, the breaking dish and reverse dish, that there's only been one. That just shows that they've both been getting chances, but just not quite taking them. But a lot at stake in this match to get through to the last 16. Then things really start to heat up here in the Champions Cup. So still all to play for.
I think the one thing that Jimmy Carney would love to improve is his break. It goes without saying, 3 breaks, 3 come up dry. And if he can just get a good break in, I think it'll just do his confidence the world of good.
Yeah, I think this is a big frame in this match. I think if it goes 4-all, I think I'm going to make Mark Pickworth slight favourite.
8-3. Jimmy Carney the break.
He certainly appears to be more confident of the two. Jimmy can't get his break going. He's 3 for 3 being dry. So this is a big break for him. And they've not split at all, and he's gone dry again.
4 for 4.
I think he's almost falling off the break. I think he's trying to give it that much that I'm not sure he's really getting through. Because he's not getting much. He's not getting much movement on those balls whatsoever. Whereas we've seen with Mark Pickworth, certainly his last couple of breaks, that he's really piling through, getting through the shot, and balls are flying everywhere. You see how he's not. He's getting the cue through, but he's not getting the power behind it because his body movement's up.
Mark Pickworth causes extension. It's a bit of a messy table towards the bottom half. Very congested.
Yeah, but the reds are actually quite inviting. If you can take this one that's nearest the black down the rail now, then every other red goes. This is the big shot. It's not easy.
No dice. Tough shot. And he won't be too upset. He's still in control of this frame.
I think Jimmy's looking to see if he can pop this yellow that's sort of just a foot above the black and play some sort of skill shot. But I don't think the angle was quite on, so it's just take control of the pocket.
Bit of a misfire on the shot clock there by the sounds of it, just after Jimmy had taken his shot. He did own up to being slow at best in his interview, but I don't think he's that slow. It's a good shot.
Time out.
Yeah, well judged
Don't stop the goal.
safety
Time running.
there from Mark. And even though Jimmy's got this bottom left covered, you know, the black, it does go in this bottom right, and there's a lot of space to ultimately get behind it. So, you know, Jimmy can't be relaxing thinking that he's still in control of this frame. A big area to aim for there. So if Mark wants to go for the clearance, he has got the opportunity. This red is his tricky one that is straight in on into the middle bag.
Oh, played it nicely.
So it's all about getting into this area here for the black. So he's just got to work out now what his best route is into getting that position. There's a couple of ways he can go. We'll just see how he plays the position, and that will maybe give us a clue as to what he's thinking.
And don't panic if you are checking your watches. We will be staying with the action here on Freesports until its conclusion tonight. These two have taken a slightly over schedule, but it's engrossing stuff. Won't miss a second reaction.
He's a little bit in the middle of nowhere there. Oh, he's played that well. He's trying to push it along. I'm not sure that's allowed in the rules, but again, he's played that. You know, that was a tricky pot at that pace. You can see him urging that white now. Has he got? No, I don't think he has. What I was thinking was he might pot that. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that white's still spinning.
He's
How
on
on
it.
earth has that stayed out?
Well, fortune favours the brave, and he was trusting a bit to luck, and he certainly had a piece there.
I think you can say that
And
again.
he's slotted the black as clean as you like. Puts his hand up to Jimmy to apologise, but he won't be too bothered. He's tied things up at 4 frames all.
Check out the facial expression afterwards as well. You can know that white's still spinning and spins for almost a full 5 or 6 seconds on the precipice. Unbelievable stuff.
I think we might need to get the cloth checked for scorch marks. That white was spinning with some ferocity.
Well, the winner of this one will slot in between Drew Hughes and Rona McCarthy on the left side of the last 16 draw. We've got 3 more spots to fill. 1 in Sheffield, 2 in Scotland still to come, and then it is last 16 time.
Yeah, the last 16 matches we'll see a similar format to what we've seen the last 16 weeks, where they'll play in groups of 4. They'll play the last 16 in the quarters, and the winner of that will then go through to finals night, where we have the semis and the final. All bubbling up nicely.
Absolutely. Well, you take a look at the little groups that you can sort of make at the moment. that top threesome as a group by itself is pretty tasty.
And adding to that the space that's missing, I believe will be the one of the qualifiers from one of the Scottish groups. So we could be pretty meaty. Those 4 players.
I mean, you've already got Farnsworth versus Christian Phillips, which, if Christian's on it, is going to be a great game. Mark will go in his favourite, being the world #1 as he is, but Christian is a match for anyone on his day, especially over a short format. Then you've got the small matter of Simon Ward waiting in the other last 16 game against someone yet unknown. There's so many options there.
Oh, that white's just he's had another little piece of luck there as well. It's all going his way tonight. He's got to take advantage of it though now.
Yeah, he does. It's another decent break. He's certainly breaking the better of the two. That goes without saying. And that is dangled on the edge.
He's potted 4 out of 5 from the break, whereas Jimmy's 4 out of 4 being dry. I mean,
Extension called.
that's some difference in stats. Well, let's see what options has he got here. I mean, he's called for his extension because he can't make his mind up. I mean, he's got this red here, which he played as a plan. He would have liked to have played that red as well, to be honest. That would have just given him a little bit of more of an option.
As it is, it's yellows.
Pretty much forced onto the yellows. You know, whilst he's still got this one on the left-hand side tied up, he has got a ball available that he can use to move it. However, he's missed the pot.
Yeah, all elementary if the pots are missed.
Yeah, the way he's been potting them, I certainly didn't expect him to miss that. Bonus for him is that he's left Jimmy not a lot to go at.
Extension called.
Jimmy having a good long look at this. It's not an easy setup at all.
So he's going for the plant.
Oh, he's played that well. Could be open this for him as well. The red at the top left, plus with the yellow on the rail that you can see there in the replay is his main issue. But other than that, it could be a worse setup for him.
Again, it's he's got work to do. Nothing straightforward at this stage. Just working out the best way that you can play a pot and disturb that red and yellow.
I think he does have the angle now off the red into the middle pocket to do something.
Certainly not easy. I don't think he can play that thin into the middle and bring that white across. To miss that what he was looking at was to miss that, so that he could have potted that into this right-hand corner and then disturb that little cluster. But it's gone wrong.
It's been a scrappy sort of evening here in Solihull. And this final is almost the one that we should have expected after the two semis, really.
It's finally poised, but it's certainly advantage Mark Pickworth in this frame.
Yeah.
He just needs to be careful. If he's playing safe, he doesn't want to leave Jimmy a thin clip on that red at the top that he can cannon into the cluster. Looks like he's covered that. A bit lucky if another sort of centimetre to the left, and he would have left that. Can he see it? Oh, it's fouled.
There's your answer.
One free shot, one visit.
That's
A bit of frustration there from Jimmy.
yeah, a real stab of annoyance, wasn't it?
He's ticking inside.
Time running.
Mark's just going to bounce this yellow off the rail, and all those yellows are nicely out in the open, and great chance for a 5-4 lead.
Yeah, it really is. Really is.
Just got to hold himself together. Just be looking to put this white into the centre of the table. Yeah, give himself options. Can take either of these, and very difficult to see it going wrong.
I think Jimmy knew that when he played the foul initially. He'd likely be giving up the frame and giving Mark an excellent chance to take the match out.
Jimmy looks on as Mark Pickworth has a pretty easy black to take a 5-4 lead.
Beautifully done. 5-4 indeed to Mark Pickworth, who is one away from a place in the second round of the Champions Cup. Reminder of where we've been and where we've still to go. Washington and Cardiff kicked off the Champions Cup tour. We head to Sheffield next week. We were there in week 5 to see Jason Rimington advance. Twickenham was rather rained off, but we've still got Greenock and Falkirk to come over the next few weeks. Exciting times.
It certainly is. But, not too exciting for Jimmy Carney at the moment. He's not potted a ball off his 4 breaks, and if he wants to stay in this competition, then he needs to reverse that stat in the next few seconds, because he can't afford another dry break.
Trailing 4 acts to 5. Time running.
And he's moved his break. He's gone to the side cut break. He's finally had enough of that front on one. But he's dry. Is that yellow going to reach? well.
I think that's the first instance we've had of 5 dry breaks in a Champions Cup match. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. Extraordinary run. That's exactly what he's thinking.
You quite often hear players when they've lost say, "Oh, I got nothing from the break." Well, actually, when you look back, they did get a few and they missed a few chances. But Jimmy can actually say, "I got nothing off the break."
Quite literally. I tell you what, these look inviting, don't they? Jimmy may well have played his final shot.
Yeah, I mean, everything goes. It's just you know which route he wants to take to take them out. I think he'll just take this red into the centre next, and this one into the top right corner as we look, and then it's really just how he sees it to pot these last few. Is he a bit short? He's looking to take this left-hand red to this bottom left-hand corner, but I think he's just undercooked it.
Yeah, I think his facial expression tells us that much.
It looks ever so tight, that. I think he can see some of the red. Just can't quite get to the potting angle, I think. I think all he's got is a long, tricky plant.
Extension. Extension called.
It's forced him to use his extension.
Yeah.
I think the only shot I can see is to play that red onto that red if he wants to keep the clearance going. That's what he's looking at.
Oh, not quite. Good effort. Carney will get another shot.
It's quite amazing. That's Mark's 6th missed pot. Jimmy's only had one, and yet Mark's winning 5-4.
It's a remarkable stat, that, isn't it?
That offsets the break stat that unfortunately Jimmy's winning. One that he certainly wouldn't have wanted to. If you can see the left hand of those 3 yellows that are together, if you can see the left hand one of that into the centre bag, that completely opens this frame up, and we could be heading into a decider. So he obviously doesn't, otherwise he would have played it. It does go in the centre, but it's just not quite on it.
Slightly overcooked that. I think he wanted to be on the yellow in the middle of the table.
Yeah, he's got a few ways he can play this. I think he'll take this one into the centre next, and just bring the white up here and back down. It's just whether he wants to play for the top yellows we look, or the one.
Oh,
wow.
And it's scooped round. Oh, and that's a picture of frustration.
Yep, he hit the knuckle. That is a crucial missed pot.
Yeah, we've seen some pots where they've quite literally sprung out the back of the pocket, but that was no such case. It was a miss. And Mark Pickworth has got a fantastic chance here.
I can't see him making any mistake from here.
Simple black into the middle pocket for a place in the second round. He's done it.
There it goes.
He has done it. Mark Pickworth knocks out Jimmy Carney in the Champions Cup, and we will hear from the victorious Mark Pickworth after the break.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
Take them all off here, then.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.
And welcome back to Solihull, joined by our winner Mark Pickworth. How do you feel? You're in the next round.
Wow, it's amazing. I didn't expect it tonight. You know, I thought I'd just try and get in there and try and get over the line. But felt good in the final, so pleased to get there, definitely.
Did it feel like a sense of momentum through the semi into the final? You seemed to really settle quicker.
Yeah, I think so. I think that helps sometimes when you've got sort of 2 games on the bounce, where Jimmy's sort of been sat back for about an hour and a half or something. So, yeah, probably that was the edge.
And you've got, of course, the second round to look forward to now. How excited are you to play in that?
Wow, it's going to be another week in it somewhere along the line. I think we're up in Chester, so I look forward to that trip.
Well, we can't wait to watch you in the second round. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
And a reminder of just how Mark Pickworth secured his place. Well, what a moment for Mark Pickworth. He couldn't believe it, but he has done it. Confirmation of the results tonight. Jimmy Carney knocking out Aiden Finch by 6 frames to 2. Miles Deleuze getting picked off by Pickworth 6-2 in his semi-final. And Mark did the business in the final. Really tough, competitive match between himself and Jimmy Carney. But it's Mark Pickworth who will go through to the next round. A reminder of what we got coming up next week. Clint Jansen is up against Craig Brown. Gavin Robinson takes on Jamie Clark in the other semi-final. We've only got 3 more spots left in the next round of the Champions Cup. We head to Sheffield next week and we hope to see you there. 7 o'clock Monday night. It's Sheffield. Good night.
The IPA Freesports Champions Cup pool is brought to you by Select Car Leasing.